Hey guys, welcome back to the Adler podcast. Today is episode number 47, and unfortunately, right now I am on my own, but very soon I will be joined by Franco. As always, unfortunately, Joe cannot join us because of work reasons. And let's get straight into it. Feels a little weird being on my own right now, but we'll make do for now until Franco arrives. This podcast, the whole point of it is to have kind of like a discussion, right? A talk, having friends chatting about movies and series and video games. And that is all what the Adler podcast is about. We're all about movies, we're all about series, and we're all about video games. Today, we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Today, we've got a lot of trailers. We've got the following trailers. We've got the trailer for Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. We've got Millie Bobby Brown in Damsel, another trailer from Netflix. We've got the first Avatar, The Last Airbender live action trailer as well, which is going to be on Netflix. We've got Daisy Ridley in Sometimes I Think About Dying, which seems to be a fantastic, fantastic looking movie. Inside Out 2 released its first teaser trailer as well. We'll be talking about that. And today we got a trailer for Madam Web. I didn't even know that was still going on. I thought it was completely cancelled, but we see Sydney Sweeney, we've got Dakota Johnson, Isabella Merced, and many, many other great actors and actresses who will be appearing in Madam Web. We'll be talking about that trailer later on as well. So let's get right into it as well with the news, because we've also got news about Maltese filmmakers, Australian Maltese filmmakers who are going to be making a TikTok film with 1 minute episodes showing on TikTok. We'll be getting into that. The Marvels. I went to watch The Marvels this weekend. We'll be talking about that later on, but definitely what has been a big, big news is The Marvels misfiring with $47 million made in America, which is the worst opening weekend ever for the MCU. We're going to be talking about that. We've also got updates on certain series like The White Lotus, like Wednesday, of course, which are going to be moving into production very soon. We'll update you on that. Also, news about a Hannibal series releasing on Netflix starring Denzel Washington. That's an interesting topic we'll be talking about as well. And also, we've got the first reactions to Napoleon, together with a full discussion on the SAG AFTRA deal, which was reached last week. To conclude, we'll also be talking a little bit about the Game Award nominations with Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, and some other Nintendo games being the biggest winners of the nomination so far. The winner will be announced, I believe, in December, around December, I believe. I don't remember the exact date, but around December. That is the news we have for you today. So, before we get into it, guys, as always, as you know, this podcast is sponsored by Embassy. Thank you, Embassy Cinemas, for sponsoring this podcast. And let's have a look this week. What can you watch in Embassy Cinemas Valletta? First of all, I wanted to talk to you about this. Embassy Cinemas will be hosting an exclusive event on the 26th of November for the release of Napoleon. Napoleon, which of course was partly filmed in Malta. Um, the event starts at 7:30 in the evening. We've got a pre-party at the Embassy Valletta Hotel's Elegant Bar the Courtyard, where you'll have finger food and drinks. Tickets are just €25, which includes the party and the film screening. Apart from that, obviously, we've got other movies to talk about. Coming soon, we've got The Hunger Games. I just got the tickets for The Hunger Games. I'll be watching it this Friday. Obviously, we've got Napoleon, and very much looking forward also to Disney's Wish. Let's get into it. So I just received a message from Franco. He should be joining very, very soon. I'm just going to send him the link and we'll get straight into it. In the meantime, Embassy will also be showing the following movies this week. We've got Five Nights at Freddy's showcasing. It's a good horror movie for fans of the game, especially for fans of the game. We've also got Retribution showing at Embassy Cinemas. We've got Trolls Band Together. which will also be showing a good movie for the family trolls band together. Then The Exorcist Believer, which will also be showcasing in Embassy Cinemas Exorcist Believer, which is a horror movie, definitely not fun for the family. Killers of the Flower Moon with the last two showings today and tomorrow. If you haven't watched Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, prepare yourself. It's a 3 hour, 26-minute movie, very long, but very powerful, very emotional, very strong movie. I recommend you go and watch it tomorrow if you have not done so. The Marvels, which I will be reviewing today. Looking forward to that review. And The Marvels, you can still go watch it. Obviously, you've got the whole week to go watch it. It's a fun movie. I'll be reviewing it, of course, later on. It's a fun movie, one you can watch with the family. Very, very breezy movie, very fast. 1 hour 45 minutes goes by in a flash. It has some fun moments. Definitely an interesting movie to watch with your family. Hunger Games. I'm very much looking forward to Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which will be showing starting on Friday, 17th November. And as I mentioned before, we've also got Napoleon, which will be starting on Wednesday, 22nd November. Finally, A Haunting in Venice, still going strong, still doing well. Box office wise, it's also recovered quite well, been doing very well as well. A good mixture of the whodunit genre together with an element of mystery there. Haunting in Venice, one for fans of Detective Poirot. So that's it. Thank you very much to Embassy for sponsoring this show. And now let's get straight into what I've been up to this week. So, this week I've been watching quite a few series. First series I wanted to talk about before we get obviously into the news and into the trailers is this series called Blue Eye Samurai. Now, I mentioned it last week. Obviously, still watching Blue Eye Samurai. Very strong visuals, very strong animations. I think Blue Eye Samurai is one of the best animated series so far released by Netflix. Honestly, it is a very, very, very solid series. Franco in the comment section there telling us that he prefers Marvels. So Blue Eye Samurai, very, very solid series, very strong animated series. I highly recommend checking it out on Netflix. We've also got The Curse. I managed to watch the first episode of The Curse. Now in this case, The Curse is I enjoyed the first episode. I think the performances, especially by Benny Safdie and Emma Stone, were solid, rock solid performances in The Curse. The humor also got me. Very dark humor, very dark, very, very dark humor. Lots of very good social commentary, lots of good political commentary. Still not 100% certain if I'm enjoying my time with it, but so far, I think from what I've seen, I'm quite pleased, and I would recommend checking out The Curse as well. Now, this is one I just finished watching, A Murder at the End of the World, with the first two episodes releasing on Hulu in America, of course, in Malta. That comes out on Disney Plus. This again is a very, very solid series. It seems to be kind of like this who done it. Reminded me a bit of Glass Onion without the overacting from some of the actors we had in Glass Onion. Here the characters feel a bit tad more realistic in a sense. Emma Corrin, fantastic. Emma Corrin, who you might have seen as Lady Diana, obviously the young Lady Diana in The Crown. We see her this time as Darby Hart, a Gen Z amateur sleuth who attempts to solve a murder at a secluded retreat. So far, I've had a good time watching it. I think the characters are introduced really well. I'm very much looking forward to finding out more about Clive Owen's character. I feel like I haven't seen Clive Owen in quite a while. So, very much looking forward to seeing that. So, would I recommend watching A Murder at the End of the World? I think it's a beautifully shot series. I think overall the writing seems very strong by Zal Batmanglish and Britt Marling. Yeah, so far so good. So that is A Murder at the End of the World. Then, of course, in preparation for Hunger Games, the prequel of the Hunger Games, which is releasing on Friday, I had to finish the Hunger Games series. And this week, I also watched the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. To be honest, I think it's my least favorite of all the Hunger Games movies. If I had to say, I would say the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 was my least favorite of all the Hunger Games movies. Still, a very solid movie, very, very solid movie. I think the way the Hunger Games tackles kind of like revolutions and the consequences of revolutions, propaganda, the importance of media, and so on, the way it tackles these very mature themes, I think The Hunger Games does that very well. I haven't read the books, but from what I've seen, lots of people say that it's very, very loyal, very is very close to the lore of the books, which is a good thing. Obviously, we've got the upcoming prequel as well, which is based also on the books, which I'm very much looking forward to watching on Friday. And that is it with regard to what I've been doing. Also, obviously, the movies and series we'll be reviewing today. We've got the review for the season finale of Loki. Loki, which of course had its season finale last week. We'll be reviewing that. We've also got we've also got a review for Netflix, The Killer, obviously directed by David Fincher. A fantastic, fantastic movie. I'm very much looking forward to talking about. Looking forward to catching up with MAAEOTW. Oh my God. Franco, you're going to have to help me. Right now, I'm juggling 10 things at once. MAAEOTW. I really don't know what you're talking about there. Right, moving on. Today, we'll also be reviewing. We're also going to be reviewing, obviously, the Marvels that obviously I got to watch last Friday. So we'll have a review for the Marvels, and obviously, in conclusion, we will. So we've got the Marvels, we've got Loki season 2 finale, and obviously The Killer, directed by David Fincher. That is what we have for you today. And with that, guys, before we get into the trailers, let me remind you to please like this video. If you are enjoying it, please leave a comment. Right now, I am quite lonely here on my own, so please leave a comment and keep me company as we talk about our favorite things, movies, series, and video games. Today, for the video game fans, we actually have the Game Awards to talk about, which we'll be talking about at the end of this show. Um, so, thank you to all our viewers and listeners for your likes, for your comments. Last week was, I think, one of our best podcasts to date, 3 hour long epic where we had to talk about all things video nasties. We talked about Mostri as well and some other movies. Such a great time. Thank you to all people who came to watch the podcast and commented and made it such an interactive experience. Now, let's get into the trailers. Oh, Murder at the End of the World. Great. Franco, I'm looking forward to talking to you about it because that was quite an interesting series indeed. I love, love, love Emma Corrin. Let's get into the trailer. So, first trailer of the day is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which unleashes a new ice age on the Spengler family. There's a cold snap coming. Sony has unveiled the first trailer for their upcoming Ghostbusters sequel and revealed its tantalizing title, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which explains why the iconic logo was frozen in the last tease for the film. The trailer showcases the discovery and escape of a new evil force, which, if released, would trigger a new ice age that threatens not just the safety of New York City, but the entire world. Who are you going to call to solve this ghostly problem? Obviously, we're going to call the Ghostbusters. Now, obviously, we had Ghostbusters Afterlife, which was, let's just say, a good return from fan favorites. Obviously, we have also Paul Rudd joining the cast, who also appeared in Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think Paul Rudd really did breathe new life into the Ghostbusters series. And I think seeing the original cast in the trailer of Ghostbusters, oh no, we don't have ad block anymore on YouTube, which is going to be a problem. But seeing the old cast returning in the new Ghostbusters movies and serving as kind of like the teachers, teaching our new favorite characters, teaching our new favorite characters how to take on these different monsters. Um, is going to be an exciting thing to see. Visually, I'm not convinced. So if you had a look at this trailer, I'm gonna be honest with you, the freezing CGI effect did not convince me that much. Obviously, the movie still has some time to release. The movie will be releasing when will it be releasing on March 29, 2024. So this trailer is still very, very early. Hopefully, obviously, they will still have time to work on the CGI, but the CGI does still need quite a lot of work. Now, something I also wanted to mention about this trailer is how dark it seems. Clearly, here we can in one of these shots where we see the ice popping up. I mean, this is killing people. And Ghostbusters is quite a, it's quite a jovial, fun experience. Um, I'm quite surprised how dark they're going with this. It could be an interesting take on the Ghostbusters series. Like I said, which is going to be releasing March 29th, 2024. Moving on from Ghostbusters to Damsel, which is going to be a new Netflix movie starring Millie Bobby Brown. And it's going to be an interesting one, a very, very, very interesting one, as Millie Bobby Brown runs from a dragon in first Damsel trailer. Brown stars alongside Angela Bassett and Robin Wright. That's a great cast if I've ever seen one. Millie Bobby Brown better get it together if she has any hopes for survival in her next feature. Following the latest image from Netflix's upcoming fantasy action flick Damsel, the streamer has dropped the first official trailer courtesy of Geek Week. In fact, we've got a bunch of trailers from Netflix this week. Um, Along with Stranger Things star, the movie will feature performances from Angela Bassett and Robin Wright. Angela Bassett, of course, who we saw in all people in chat, say hi till I log in. Keep Andrea company. Yes, please. People in the chat, please say hello. Please do keep in company till Franco joins us. As we were saying about Damsel, we've got Angela Bassett, who you will have seen in the Black Panther franchise, as well as Robin Wright, who you definitely saw in House of Cards. We also saw in Wonder Woman as well. Obviously, we saw her in Wonder Woman and in many other movies and series. Angela Bassett, who, by the way, I believe should have definitely been the winner for the Best Supporting Actress. I thought her performance is in Wakanda Forever, Black Panther Wakanda Forever was very, very solid. A great, great performance. Hello, Keith. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Let me know your thoughts so far on well, obviously, we talked about the trailer of Ghostbusters, and now we're talking about this trailer, Damsel, which looks like a fantastic, fantastic looking Netflix movie. In Damsel, Brown starts as the young Princess Elodie, who has been tasked with being wed in an arranged marriage. Luckily for her, Elodie's future hubby seemed like her dream man. After traveling to her new home, she discovers that her Prince Charming is anything but, and that he and his family have brought her there for sinister purposes. Owing a massive debt to an ancient dragon, Elodie's new relatives plan on sacrificing her to the beast as a form of payment. Tossed into the pit with no one but herself to rely on, the young woman will need to become her own savior if she has any hope of survival. Damsel looks interesting for a Netflix movie. Definitely, Keith, definitely. This trailer definitely looks interesting. Why do I? So, actually, we can get into the images. So, first of all, Millie Bobby Brown, I'm so glad she is getting out of her cocoon, obviously as 11, and trying out different approaches. Obviously, we saw her in Enola Holmes, which, let's be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Enola Holmes, but I can see what they're going for. I actually did not have a bad time with the second Enola Holmes. I thought the second Enola Holmes was a more solid movie than the first. But I think this looks absolutely fantastic. Obviously, here we can see Millie Bobby Brown in Enola Holmes. Actually, I thought we were going to have scenes from the movie, but this is all Millie Bobby Brown basically in her different series appearances. So let's have a look at the trailer of Damsel. First thing that piqued my interest, of course, apart from the obvious Millie Bobby Brown looking great in the role, is it's obviously going to be the reversal of the fable, right? We're going to have Millie Bobby Brown's character, Elodie, saving the day. Now, obviously, one could say that this has been, approached, this has been tackled quite a few times recently. But I believe that in the recent movies and series I've seen where they try to turn the tables on their head and try to turn the damsel into the savior, sometimes it feels just a tad on the nose in some movies and series I have watched recently. In this case, I really do think Millie Bobby Brown does look the part. I think also the CGI and the visual effects look quite decent. Really interested to see who these masked characters are. I think there is a lot of potential for Damsel. Very much looking forward as well to the dragon, seeing the dragon. Obviously, trying to think the last time we saw like a big CGI dragon, probably in The Hobbit, in the second and third Hobbit movies. So it will be interesting to see how the CGI has kept up here. Netflix obviously generally pouring quite a lot of money into their shows, but CGI is sometimes a problem in the Netflix series. Again, it all depends on the budget, all depends on how much care has gone into the work in this show. But again, fire effects look a little off, if I have to be honest. But overall, I think a dark approach to this fable looks quite interesting. We've also got 28 weeks later director Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, who is the helmer behind the Netflix action movie, which is a good thing. The thing that worries me is the next thing, which is Dan Mazeau, who wrote Fast X, penned the script, and that might be a bit of an issue. But we will see when it comes out. Very much looking forward to Damsel, which will land on Netflix in 2024. Now, for the next one, my apologies. I unfortunately am not a big fan of Avatar. I tried to watch the anime. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comment section below. Send your hate, don't worry. But unfortunately, I have to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the Avatar anime. For me, the first few episodes were a bit too childish. I just couldn't get into it. I just really couldn't get into it. But I'm so happy for the fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender who are going to be getting another live action series, I believe, which will be hitting Netflix this February. Water, earth, fire, and air, the four elements have come together at Netflix's Geeked Week as the streamer pulls back the curtain on its live action adaptation of the beloved Nickelodeon. Hello, Franco. How's it going? Franco, I can't hear you. You are. Oh, now I
How
can
about,
hear you.
how about now? Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Sorry for the lateness, but we are working people. Also, shout out to Joe, who's really working his ass off and also had a bit of an injury. Get well soon. And we miss you, Joe. We miss
We
you
miss
so
you, Joe.
much.
Definitely. We really do miss you, Joe. Man, I really miss having the whole gang here.
It's true.
But
It's true. We don't have the Holy Trinity with us so far.
nope, unfortunately. How's it going, Franco?
Just a second. Good so far. Like you, I've actually really watched lots of stuff recently. Binged Loki, watched The Killer, didn't watch the Marvels because I have time. I know how to take care of my time. No, maybe I'm being too harsh on Marvels. What else? Yeah, watched Loki, watched The Killer, watched Dumb Money as well. Um, uh, what else is there? What else is there? I'm actually looking forward also to catch up with a Murder at the End of the World. Um, uh, that's it so far. What else did I watch? I didn't know. I just watched The Killer and Loki. Yeah, that's it. And also obviously The Curse. Started The Curse. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to tell you. In fact, I think it's a strong opening act. It's setting the tone. It's setting the atmosphere. Obviously, it won't be as I don't. I think it's biding its time so as not to reveal everything at one go. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
it will like you've seen one episode, you've seen them all. But
I
otherwise,
have. I think in the case of The Curse, I think they would have benefited if they released maybe one more episode maybe like releasing 2 episodes, not one, because I feel like the first episode was just setting up the characters, setting up the tone, like you said, what is the premise of the series, and that's it. So it's like having a second episode would allow them maybe to showcase something a bit more fun. I mean, to be fair, the first episode was decent. Don't get me wrong. Again,
Yeah, of
I
course.
like the writing. I really liked like the social political aspects it's taking, the way it tackles like media and obviously the politics, class and the class divide and so on. That's all great. And how out of touch media people are. Yeah, Franco.
True, and I was gonna say like Fielder is working to his strengths as well, because his bread and butter was reality TV. So the parody element is still there, of reality TV shows. So yeah, I'm looking forward. This is my first Fielder, by the way. I haven't seen other shows of his. Many people highly recommend it. Highly recommend Nathan For You, and what else? Madonna. Nathan For You and Nathan. I forgot the other series. Anyone in the chat knows the other series? Please leave us a comment. And hello, chat as well. Sorry for the latest. And yeah, so to go back to the news and trailers. Yeah, Damsel, like I told you, that Damsel, actually, my comment about Damsel is, why is this not being shown in cinema? Because it looks very decent. It looks very decent from the tidbit that I saw.
Some of the CGI I thought looked a little off, like the fire CGI looked a little tiny bit off, in my opinion.
Oh,
but
really?
More or less, I think it looks decent. I like the dark tone they're going for. I really like the dark tone they're going for.
And I feel this is a much more mature theme than what's it, Enola Holmes, to be honest.
Enola Holmes, yeah.
That's my take about it.
I didn't hate Enola Holmes, to be fair, because I was a bit harsh on it when I was talking about it a bit before.
No, but
the rehearsal.
Thank you.
Keith saving us.
Thank you, Keith. Maybe he should join us instead of Joe. Joe, you're fired.
Joe's fired. Keith's taking your place.
Keith's taking your place. Resident. It depends. Maybe Keith doesn't hate Marvel that much, though.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Do you hate Marvel, Keith? Or are you still a fan? I'm on the edge. We'll talk about it when we get into the Marvels, because I have a lot to say about the Marvels. One last thing I wanted to ask you, Franco. So you didn't watch Murder at the End of the World, right?
No. I think I'm gonna catch up tonight with it.
Okay.
I'm looking forward, because the visuals look great, and I do like Zal and Britt Marling as artists. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And my brother watched it. Actually, my brother watched the first 2 episodes. He seems he liked it. And
yes. So far, I have to be honest. So far, I do quite like it. Astra, I think, as a like the way it's shot, it's beautiful. The setting in Iceland is just stunning. Really stunning. Like there's some shots, really beautiful shots of Iceland, and it's set in a hotel, in like this really ultra modern hotel in Iceland. So the setting is beautiful. Emma Corrin is great. Emma Corrin is really good.
Goes without saying.
So overall, so far, I'm very interested, very intrigued. It takes a while to get going, to be fair. The first episode was a bit slow, because the first episode, again, just like The Curse, sets up the characters and so on. But what they did, unlike The Curse, was they released the second episode as well. And in the second episode, the action really gets going then. And you start seeing how the whodunit is going to develop. And at the end of episode 2, there's a particular scene where I almost shouted out. I was so like, oh my God. So yeah, really solid. No, but becoming tired from all the superhero stuff now. Yeah.
So you're hired, Keith. Okay.
You're hired. You're hired. So overall, I think it's very well worth checking out Murder at the End of the World. That's one of those series that now that I finished the second episode, I'm dying to watch the next episode. I could actually have binged. I could actually have binged it, to be honest. I wouldn't have minded binging the whole thing.
Okay.
Anyways, because Avatar fans, I already said I'm not a big fan of the Avatar anime. and they're already going to be hating me.
Ooh.
And now we just interrupted talking about Avatar, which is going to make it even worse.
Ooh. Contra tiegħi, because I'm intrigued. I watched the trailer on the Hazanabi broadcast, and it looked decent as well. As far as setting goes, looks quite nice.
No, the trailer looks amazing. I'm just, thank you, but missing
missing
Joe.
Joe.
Oh, Keith misses Joe as
Keith.
well.
Keith.
Don't we all, Keith? Don't we all? So overall, I think the trailer looks great. I think even visually, it looks really good. But I just never was a fan of the anime in the first place. Like the anime for me was a bit too childish. But to be fair, I didn't give it a fair try because I watched a few episodes during COVID, and I was like, this is a bit too childish for me. And I watched other stuff. Maybe I should try it again, to be honest. Anyways,
I mean, it's the least I can say, because I haven't seen any of the animes. Not because just like it didn't pique my interest, but this piqued my interest. So we'll see. And then there was, I don't know if maybe it's a Mandela effect. There was some live action movie about this. Maybe it's a Mandela effect.
there was a live action movie.
There was, I don't know, by
don't
someone.
know,
By someone Shyamalan, maybe, I don't know.
Shyamalan.
No.
Could be,
Could be.
could be. I don't know. Maybe they. It's like in my memory, just has this blank box of an Avatar live action movie. Could be. That's really not ringing a bell though, right?
I will have to make a comment. Oh, sorry, I just saw the thumbnail for the Collider. That is not the first bomb. As far as I know, Thor: Love and Thunder was the first bomb. Sorry. And
I think the Marvels is like a massive bomb. Like
box office wise,
maybe Thor: Love and Thunder was the test in Oppenheimer, and the Marvels is like the actual nuclear bomb falling on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
God, okay. If you put it this way,
a bit dark, but because we're going to get into that now, Franco. Like it's an absolute disaster. Like not movie wise. Movie wise, I'll talk about it in the review, but like box office wise, it's an absolute disaster. Anyways, so water, earth, fire in there. The four elements have come together as we see the live.
Be right back. Just a second. I'll zoom back. Just need to
more
do something.
Hate for Franco this time, who is interrupting once more the Avatar trailer.
Yeah. Just releasing some pressure off of your shoulders as well.
Anyways, as we've got with images and release date for the highly anticipated show, a new teaser brings viewers back into the world of bending with Avatar Aang and his friends. Their first real footage promises an epic journey to once again defeat the great evil of the Fire Nation. And of course, Avatar, The Last Airbender. Here we've got some images from the trailer. Obviously, we've got a world engulfed in war. I think overall, the character designs look really good. The costumes look fantastic. Again, character designs look great. It's releasing, so when is it going to release? It's releasing on February 22nd. So right after the Christmas holidays, February 22nd. Visually, this doesn't look half bad. Franco, what do you think?
No, it doesn't look half bad. Like I said, like I saw you still can hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, it doesn't look bad. The creature design also looks good, even though it's weird. Again, I am completely blind as to what the story is. Not almost blind, but it looks decent enough. Even like setting and look, it doesn't look anything like. Let's admit it. It doesn't look anything like Shyamalan's.
No, Alaris.
Like even the wind effects and all. I heard there was a controversy about Sokka's casting, but again, I think the because he was not indigenous, as I'm not mistaken. But then again, it's a good justification. It's like you need lots of training and it takes time. Still, I mean, but it's the usual controversy of liberals about casting when it's not really. I think it's the cast looks diverse enough as well. Huh?
Oh, 100%. I don't think they can complain about diversity in this cast.
Anyway,
it looks decent. You see this effect? Feels punchy.
No, no, it looks taken care of.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, this, I believe, I mean, obviously, clearly, there's a lot of love put into this. I saw also the presentation at Netflix Geeked. You could tell there was quite a lot of passion from the creators of this show. I just saw a short clip, but like you can tell that there are people who really love the anime working on this. So that is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, this one, friend of the show, Cassandra, brought this to our attention. She posted the trailer of Sometimes I Think About Dying on Prickly Pears,
Hmm.
and I'm definitely intrigued. Ridley stars alongside Dave Meherje, Meg Stalter, and Parvesh China in the upcoming dark comedy. Daisy Ridley's next drama, Sometimes I Think About Dying, has unveiled a new trailer. The independent feature is produced by Ridley and helmed by Rachel Lambert and presents a heart tugging slice of life story. The movie premiered at the Sundance Film Festival earlier this year and garnered much critical acclaim. It is based on the 2019 short film directed and co-written by Stephanie Abel Horowitz, which in turn was based on a play called Killers by Kevin Armento. Trailer sees Ridley as Fran, a socially awkward person who loves her work and daydreams about her own death. Her life begins to change when a new co-worker, Robert, joins her workplace and befriends her. Trailer elaborates on the way Fran begins to emotionally change and the turmoil she faces as she begins to feel unsatisfied with who she is. The themes are laid out in one line as she asks Robert, "Do you wish you could unknow me?" And in another instance, she received the advice, "It's hard being a person." Overall, the movie seems incredibly intimate and emotional. And this is the exact way I would describe this trailer. Of course, we can't comment about the movie because we haven't watched it, but the trailer seems incredibly intimate and emotional. I'm going to be honest with you, Franco. Daisy Ridley hasn't had the strongest of kind of like continuation of her career post Star Wars.
Mm.
Um, I feel like I really haven't seen her in anything too big. Don't know about you.
No, no, she wasn't like in anything big as well. Like, but I think it's the curse of the franchise, I would call it. Like, can you imagine Chris Evans in anything else or Robert Downey Jr.? I mean, Robert Downey Jr. Luckily, Oppenheimer gave him a role to chew on. I would love to see Chris Evans in an action here. It's like it would be it would, but in a decent action here, like something on the line in the lines of The Killer or with
Mm-hmm,
gravitas.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So there's Ridley as well. Plus, again, I think this ties into what I want to say about the Marvels. Um, uh, I think she got so much shit for her portrayal of being Skywalker. It's like,
Yeah.
and she unwittingly becoming a toxic asset. It's stupid, and like maybe this will be the redeeming movie. This is basically, listen. I mean, we saw Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart after Twilight get very very decent movies. So let's hope it's the same for Daisy Ridley as well.
However, the thing with Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart is, I feel like they actually looked for like weird stuff, especially Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson really looked for the weird stuff,
Yep.
which I really admire from him. Like, I still will never forget his performance in The King. Forget The Lighthouse and all the other great stuff. Like The King, his French accent in The King. Like, that is a guy who does not give an F and who just like, I'm going to come on set and I'm going to come in with a French accent and I'm going to overact. I know I'm overacting, but I'm having a good time
Time.
and the viewers will love it.
Did
I
you?
mean,
Did you?
I did. I loved it. I loved his performance. Like, he's the most interesting thing about the King. And I did really like the King. I really like the King. I'm one of the few, I think quite a lot of people admire the movie as technically, but no one really comments about it. I really, really like the King. But I thought like his performance, Robert Pattinson, and that was bloody fantastic. But he looked for the weird stuff, right? You can
Oh,
tell he looked for the weird
even
stuff.
Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart, like Clouds of Sils Maria, she's really did well.
Uh-huh.
Plus, she
Uh-huh.
also pulled it off as Diana. I feel like.
Diana, I didn't like the movie. I liked her performance.
Mm-mm-mm.
I liked her performance in that. I really didn't like the movie at all. Spencer, right? That was Spencer.
Yes, yes, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Spencer.
I haven't watched it fully, but it's always a task to watch a Lara movie.
Uh-huh.
I still have to watch El Conde because then again he is one of my favorite directors. Anyway,
No, Spencer, I liked the performance. I didn't like the movie in general as a movie, like the portrayal of Diana, but her performance in it was great. It was absolutely great.
mm,
Nothing can be said about the performance. She was also in, oh my god, the Soderbergh movie. Which
Kristen Stewart.
yes. Madoffy. No, not. I don't remember which one it was. I remember seeing her in something else, but I can't put my finger on it. Anyways, going back to Daisy Ridley because we
Hmm.
forgot about Daisy Ridley. What do you think? I don't know if you've watched this trailer, Franco.
No, I
Have you
haven't.
had a
But
look at it?
I not pre-watch. Sorry, but
From what I've seen from the trailer, I really like the at the start they're very awkward, but it's a normal awkward, right? You can tell they're like awkward, but it's a normal awkward, not an overdone awkwardness. At the same time, later on in the trailer, you start to see like their chemistry build, and they
mm,
start to obviously fall in love, and you can see like there's a lot of care and thought put into this movie. I'm quite interested in watching it, and
ooh,
the
ooh,
first
ooh.
reviews have been really good as well. There's the review by the Daily Beast. There was one also, I believe, by Collider in it as well. Um, yeah, this is it, a dark comedy of restraint and quiet, but holds an incredible amount of power and emotion. So overall, this looks like a really solid movie, one I'm quite interested in watching. Not every movie has to be bombastic and massive like the Marvels,
Mm,
right? Sometimes we can get something like Sometimes I Think About Dying. No release date or window, but I guess we'll find out later on in the year when this will be releasing and on what.
looks decently shot as well. Huh?
Yes, very decently shot as well. Franco, did you know there's going to be an Inside Out too?
Do I care? Is the right answer? Is the right
Really? You
question?
don't care about an Inside Out too?
I mean, come on, Disney is now it's milking the cow, a dried cow. I feel like. I mean, how many? It's like hit. It's like I don't know. Listen, maybe they might hit like like how do they say? It's like thunder, lightning in a.
In a bottle.
No, yeah, exactly. Thunder in a bottle. Maybe it can't happen twice. Who knows? Like,
Did you like the original, Franco?
haven't even seen it yet. It's like,
You haven't watched? Okay.
no, I'm sure. I'm sure I'm liking it, but I haven't been watching Pixar animation in ages. Not even Elemental. So, guys, I'm sorry. Not even Coco. I haven't seen so much
Mm-hmm.
Pixar. But I went towards Castlevania. I'm liking more the mature stuff, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Disney should go into mature stuff, to be honest. But that's a
But they
that's
won't.
that's an issue for,
That's
for another time.
exactly. In the case of Inside Out, I Hey guys, hello Yalla.
Hello, Yellow.
Hope you're doing well. We're talking about the Inside Out 2 teaser trailer right now. But then I can't type today. Hey guy. My mind automatically reads the sentence correctly. In the case of Inside Out, I rewatched it yesterday because I hadn't watched it in like a really long time. I think that's 2015 that it released. Man, 2015 is the year I started working. It's such a long time ago. So Inside Out is such a sweet, such a lovable movie, and I almost cried again
with
yesterday
the, with the elephant scene.
watching it with the elephant scene. Bing bong! Oh my god! When he lets Joy fly off, and we see him fly her to the moon for me. Oh my god! It really brings me to tears. That scene really breaks me every time I watch it. It's a really emotional movie.
No,
It's a movie which is really good for parents and for kids
so,
alike. So,
sorry, I lie. I saw Soul. Soul was quite good. I
oh, you
liked
watch
it.
Soul. Soul is a very good.
Very good.
Soul, I love that. Soul, I love this. I think I prefer Inside Out, but Soul was very good. Soul was very good. Inside Out has a lot of emotions though. Like Inside Out, like emotionally it breaks you again and again and again. And the characters, man, are so lovable. Like sadness. Oh my god. I could hug her all the time. Anyways, Inside Out 2. The first trailer for Inside Out 2 has been released by Pixar, marking the continuation of Riley's journey as she marches out towards adolescence. When the character was introduced in 2015, it was established that her emotions had colorful personifications in her brain, controlling her actions through a console and storing valuable memories in a vault. When it's time for her to return next summer, new emotions will be around, changing everything she thought she knew about herself and the world around her. Even if these movies are produced by Pixar, puberty and adolescence are some of the most complicated times in a person's life, and the animated sequel will reflect that. I mean, if we're talking about adolescence, Franco, I mean, I think how are Disney going to showcase, like, when you're an adolescent, one of the biggest things you experience, at least I can only talk about, guys, is, you know, finding out what you like. Like, I don't want to go into detail about this, right? But I think, in other words, horniness, right? Like, how are they going to show that?
That's definitely not going to be one of the emotions. You know.
Or lust. Let's put it that way. Lust.
No, that's the editor's version of Inside Out. Maybe Inside Out 3, who knows?
Inside Out 3. It's going to be an interesting way to approach it, because obviously in puberty and adolescence obviously are sticky periods of your life, right? They're not, when you think about your adolescence, they're not always the greatest memories at times.
By the way, how old was the character in 2015? Because I think it's like
11. I'm not sure. I think 11. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. So at least like so it's almost 6 years later. So it makes sense.
Holy crap! This movie made a lot of money. The first movie earned $858 million at the worldwide box office, summer of 2015. After facing tough competition with the release of Jurassic World. Jurassic World made over $1 billion. So, man, that's like really tough. And the fact that it made $858 million with Jurassic World competing is insane. So I understand completely why they're releasing an Inside Out 2 now, if it made that much money. When will it be released? Apparently, it's going to be released June 14, 2024, continuing Pixar's tradition of saving their strongest box office contenders for the summer, which I agree. I think Pixar movies are definitely summer movies. If we have a quick look at the teaser, it's a really quick teaser showcasing
the console
changing.
The
console changing. Obviously, it's adolescence and puberty, so they're destroying the old console, bringing in the new stuff. We have new emotions coming in, right? This is anxiety. So at least it's nice to see, at least they're mentioning anxiety, because obviously adolescence and anxiety go hand in hand. Would you be interested in watching this, Franco?
Let me see Inside Out, the first one first, and then we'll see. Maybe I
highly recommend watching it. It's just a quality movie, quality animated movie, and I love the animation style. It's colorful, it's beautiful to look at. Doesn't take obviously the realistic approach. It's very colorful, very Pixar-like. Obviously, I'm very excited to watch it. Like, give it to me today, please. So that is Inside Out 2. Let us know in the comment section below, guys, viewers and listeners in the chat. Let us know, are you excited for all the trailers we've talked about so far? And are you excited for Inside Out 2? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, like. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so. Last week was our most highest viewed podcast so far. So once more, thank you to all the viewers and listeners. Let's continue, because Franco, today the trailer for Madame Web was released, published 2 hours ago. Was it right on time?
Look, Keith, it's more superhero stuff.
No, we've got a lot of superhero stuff to talk about today. But yes, the first Madame Web trailer was released. To be honest with you, Franco, I had absolutely no idea this was still going on. I thought it was cancelled.
Madame Web, I have no idea about this. What is this?
Oh, I have no idea who that is either. I've been hearing about this character for ages. Apparently, she's in the Spider-Man universe.
La Spider-Man universe. They're trying to keep pushing it. Yeah.
Yep. Obviously, we've got Kraven the Hunter and Venom 3 also, which will be releasing. I still don't think I've watched Venom 2. Now that you mention it,
I haven't even
released in COVID, right?
I haven't watched any of the Venoms, but apparently they're.
Venom 1 was fun. Venom 1 was very, very fun. I really enjoyed watching Venom 1. It looks really bad. Keith, if you're talking about the Madam Web trailer, I unfortunately completely agree. And I am a big fan of Dakota Johnson, and I am a massive, massive fan of Sydney Sweeney. I love Sydney Sweeney. But I'm sorry to say, this trailer looks awful. Let's introduce it to our viewers and listeners. Ever since Sony announced Madam Web, everyone involved has done their best to keep audiences in the dark about where they plan to take the unsung comic book character. And they succeeded because I completely forgot about it and thought it was cancelled. That all changes today as the first trailer highlights Dakota Johnson as she dons the powers of the clairvoyant Cassandra Webb. Fourth film in Sony's Spider-Man universe will see the 50 Shades star playing a different take on Webb as she springs into action to combat a new threat to her world. Readers will be familiar with a blind and elderly Madam Webb who is kept hooked to a spiderweb-like life support machine due to her myasthenia gravis and often uses her abilities to support other heroes like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Man, give me this. What the hell? This sounds awesome.
Yeah,
the early
yeah.
2000 set film, directed by the Defenders and Jessica Jones veteran S.J. Clarkson, instead stars Johnson as a younger Webb in what producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura billed as a new origin story for the character as she's molded into the powerful figure seen within the comic pages. Franco, you're going to say?
No, because I skipped the line and I saw hailing from Morbius writing duo Berk Sharpless and Matt Sazama. Madam Web would be a strong female-led superhero film. Come on now. Sorry to all. Don't get me wrong, all the women that are watching us. A strong female-led superhero film is just a marketing ploy, okay? Why are we... Plus, secondly, we have two guys writing this movie. How can it be a strong female-led superhero film? Ostia.
No, knowing that it's the Morbius writing duo who are working on this, I'm even more worried now. Like the trailer doesn't look great. The trailer does not look great at all.
It's webbing time.
Yep. I mean, we can have a quick look at the trailer just now. Like this. Where's the trailer? Oh, here's the trailer. We've got it on Twitter, on X, sorry. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Franco. I don't know if you watched the trailer.
No, I haven't watched the trailer.
It looks. If you had to ask me what I think about it, it looks like a fan-made movie, but lacking the passion of a fan-made movie because it looks very cheap. Nothing about this, screams, "Come and watch it. It's an interesting movie." None of this piques my interest. More of the same. It's like, okay, you've got Dakota Johnson and you've got Sydney Sweeney, two great actresses. But first of all, Sydney Sweeney, we barely see her in the trailer. And if you've got Sydney Sweeney, I think you really want to show her in a trailer because you want people to come. And Sydney Sweeney is a bloody.
It's a crowd. She's a crowd puller. Yes.
Who's a crowd puller. And I'm going to be honest with you, with the glasses, I barely recognized her. She looks really different. Here we've got her. But if I have to be honest with you, none of this interests me. None of this piques my interest. None of this, I don't know. I was watching the trailer and I'm like, but why would I want to watch this movie? Why would I want to waste 2 hours of my life watching this? I'm sorry to say, but even visually, it really looks bland. Bland as fuck. Really, really bland. None of this interests me. Don't know about you, Franco.
It feels like very familiar. It treads familiar ground. It's like it's like what they did with Ghostbusters. Okay, but make it female. And I'm sorry, Keith is right. Too much superhero stuff, and this is another Marvel thing. Sony should stop doing Marvel stuff. I don't know what's genuinely it doesn't interest me. This actor, is he the same as Napoleon or no?
Is he the same as Napoleon?
The Napoleon character or not?
What do you mean?
The actor. I think he's a Napoleon as well, no? Or I don't know.
Oh, it could be. Let me check. What's his name?
I have no idea. I forgot his name. Sorry, guys. I'm not really. It's been a long day.
We've got the cast here.
Tahar Rahim. Yes. I think he's the same, Mala.
Tahar Rahim. Okay. He's in Napoleon. Okay. But again, I don't know. None of this really piques my interest. None of this makes me want to watch it. Which is sad to say because again, it's led by two actresses I love watching in
Emma,
other stuff.
and there's
not in this.
Emma Roberts as well. Emma Roberts is not she's not someone to like look down on either. Emma Roberts.
Yep. But it is what it is. Madam Web is due out on February 14, 2024. Anyways, moving on to some more positive stuff. We had another trailer for Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. We don't really need to go into detail. Yael obviously will be screaming at us for not going into detail about this new trailer. But we've already watched one trailer for Scott Pilgrim. I think we're all excited for it. We're all looking forward. Releases this week on the 17th, by the way. So really looking forward to watching that on the 17th of this month. This obviously comes out on Netflix, so very much excited for that. Also from Netflix, we got the trailer for Rebel Moon Part 1. Now, this is a trailer that got me excited. I know we've talked about it already, Franco. I just wanted to mention, man, this world looks bloody interesting. It looks different. It looks like bloody fun sci-fi fantasy. Lots of different genres mixed together. You've got Seven Samurais, Star Wars, fantasy. What do you think, Franco?
No, I'm interested in this. Like he's doing it feels like he's doing a remix, but a remix worth watching. You know, he's pulling a Tarantino but for sci-fi almost.
Yeah. What do you think about the lead, Sofia Boutella? So she looks great in this.
She looks great, and she's a great actress. Tom, have you ever seen her in Climax?
No, I don't think so.
Check her out in Gaspar Noé's Climax. She has quite a lead performance there.
Like physically, she looks.
No, she makes
top form.
She makes a good action star as well. So
she does. Even look at her face. Like even physically, I mean, she's muscular. She looks the part. Like this is the kind of person who I can see kicking the ass of six guys and not being. I am screaming internally. I yell out her love for Scott Pilgrim. But in the case of Sofia Boutella, I mean, this is the kind of actress who can pull off the role of someone who kicks the ass of. There's this action scene looks fun. Who can kick the ass of six like tough-looking guys, and I wouldn't be like, really? She did that?
But
she did that.
But
like, I'm
just
not surprised at all.
Just please don't over-edit that action sequence.
Now, Franco, you mentioned the one thing I'm worried about. Two things, actually. Over-editing and slow motion.
Zack Snyder.
Those are the two things I'm worried from Zack Snyder in this. Please, I know Zack Snyder loves slow motion. We all love 300. Who doesn't love 300? We all, I mean, not everyone loves
Batman v Superman.
But please calm it down on the slow motion, calm it down on the over editing, calm it down on the Jesus imagery. Like let the story flow and let the action scenes speak for themselves. You've got a great visual touch. Show it off. You don't need to over edit that stuff.
True.
Okay, but like, oh my god, man,
Jimon Hunsu. Oh my god,
Jimon Hunsu. Jesus, man, look at this guy. He looks ripped, man.
I mean,
he's such a presence.
Dude, he looks a bit over here. Don't get me wrong. He looks a bit like God of War, like Kratos. Originally
he does
slated to be acting to be portraying Kratos. But then we wouldn't want to know the director because the director.
Yeah.
Who was the director, by the way? Someone.
Oh, I forgot.
Uwe Boll.
Oh my god. No. But overall, I'm really excited for this. Again, the world looks fascinating.
I thought it's FKA Twigs. I don't know. Maybe it's good.
The world looks fascinating. You know, another thing I wanted to mention. Sometimes all you need is a villain. I'm not going to say the N-word, but sometimes all you need is the N-word, because I think YouTube will block us if we mention what this guy looks like. The N word, not that N word, obviously. Please
No,
note,
no, no.
we're talking about. You can see
Nazi.
the hat is wearing. The hat is wearing.
Nazi.
Exactly. Who is evil? Who just wants to dominate the whole world? We don't need complex villains every
Mm.
time. Sometimes you can just have a super evil villain who we hate, and we want to see our hero kicking his ass. Sometimes it works for appropriate movies. I feel like this is one of those movies where we don't need like super complex villains. We just need someone to hate really,
and
really badly, and
and
that's
switch off and enjoy the ride.
exactly because that's all
Uh,
what Zack Snyder movies are all about.
Funnily enough, speaking of strong female character, she looks at least like a strong female character.
Yes, he
And
does.
he doesn't push that. He doesn't push that. Hopefully,
Mhm.
again, like you said, I hope Zack Snyder learned his lessons in as far as storytelling and editing goes. But yeah,
Yeah, solid looking movie. Very much looking forward to it. It's Rebel Moon Part One, A Child of Fire will have a limited theatrical release. This is a movie that should be watched on in the cinemas. Yeah.
that's one thing for sure. And secondly, if I may ask, Yella, what do you think about this kind of strong female-led character thing? You're a female. I think this is much more your realm, and you can tell us more about it rather than two white guys, two cishet white guys commenting about it. Yeah, but on to the next trailer.
Definitely. So this release is on Netflix, December 22nd. Oh my god.
Oh no,
Oh
cinema,
no, I have the
please.
teachers bash on the 22nd. I won't be able to watch it. I have to watch it on the 23rd. Anyways, moving on. So that's it for trailers. To all our viewers and listeners in the chat, let us know if any of these trailers piqued your interest. Let us know why you really disliked the Madam Web trailer. Let us know also why you really liked the Rebel Moon Part 1 trailer. Agree with us. No. If you disagree with us, let us know as well in the comment section below. But that is it with regard to trailers. Now we're going to get into the news. Franco, you brought this news
Yep.
to my attention, and this looks fascinating because once I saw Maltese monsters mentioned again, that really caught my attention because I agree completely that a lot of Maltese culture is really, really overlooked in films. But Franco, do you want to introduce the whole thing since you're the one who caught my attention with it?
So far I only skimmed through the article. We will be speaking actually to the director, the guy who's taking care, Ryan Coke, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah,
Okay.
Ryan Coke is the director of a Maltese Australian director who's doing this TikTok series based on Maltese folklore called Grain Stains. By the way, Yella said, as your local female, I don't mind it as long as it isn't pandering.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Oh, I have to talk about pandering a little later on then, Franco.
All right.
I will mention it later on. Actually, I can mention it in the reviews then.
True.
Continue.
But yeah, I mean, just this was funny enough. We did the review for Maltese folklore last time with Monstry. We also had a very, I would say, a very localized Maltese horror with Son of God. A shout out to Bruce. Again, like I said, I just skimmed through it. I was looking so forward to speaking to the guy that okay. I reached out. I went to Instagram, but do check it out. It feels like. Yeah, so basically the story over here, it says in the 1990s in Western Sydney, the suburb of the same name, where two children visit their grandmother's house where they uncover a host of dark family secrets rooted in terrifying stories from Maltese folklore. It's already like very interesting. And it's also true that it's overlooked even in Australia, because there's like 200,000 people is no joke. It's almost like half Malta, basically, in Australia. And it's true, their culture had really been reflected in films and on TV.
On TV.
Except for what you call it, except for Bastizzi as usual.
I mean, like you said, right? Generally, it is looking at the Mediterranean beaches. Here it is. Forcauchi Malta is represented by idyllic Mediterranean beaches and delicious pastizzi. But we never really look at the darker side of it, and I 100% agree. like all these different like monsters, the child hunting demons, tunnel dwelling beasts. There's so much mythology you can get like material for series and movies out of.
Mm.
There's a lot of potential there. And I think Mostri started working on that potential, and I hope that Mostri will be good inspiration for other
Others,
Maltese
no, for sure, for
filmmakers to
sure.
continue working on this, because there's a lot to work with. There's a lot of history as well, and the history in Malta. Malta has one of the richest histories, like in the world, in my opinion. Like we've faced so many different empires, and like there is so much potential there. There's so much potential.
Like one time, quick trivia, there was like rumors across the grapevine of Guy Ritchie directing a Great Siege movie. Imagine that.
I mean, how doesn't the Great Siege have a movie like that? That stuns me. Like that is the perfect underdog story
And that
set
I would
in
I
the
would
16th
I
century.
would I would make a cameo for Trump, who comes out and says there were good people on both sides. Imagine. Dragut is a very good friend of mine. Anyway.
But this looks great. This looks great. So I'm so excited to watch it. It's going to be basically 1 minute episodes, right, Franco? From
Yes,
what I
it's
understood, 1 minute episodes.
for the TikTok generation, but it's, I mean, Screen Australia is behind it. Yeah, and stay tuned when we're gonna watch when we're gonna speak to Mr. Kauki in the
Very
flesh.
good stuff. Very good stuff. Moving on. Oh, I wish Joe was here for this. The Marvels. Now, as our viewers and listeners know, as I introduced at the beginning, this Friday I went to watch The Marvels. I was abandoned by Franco, unfortunately.
Hey, I was having an episode. So hey.
But as you can tell from the title, the opening weekend of The Marvels was an absolute unmitigated disaster. As The Marvels misfires with $47 million, the lowest MCU opening weekend of all time. And as Variety tells us, Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe is no longer a bulletproof box office franchise. I think we saw that with Ant-Man already, Ant-Man 3. But it's much clearer with the Marvels as it misfires to land the worst debut in MCU history. The initial tracking was it should reach around 75 to 80 million, but it didn't even reach those very small projections. Now, to be clear, when we talk about 47 million being a disaster, it's a disaster in the context of what the Marvels was made, right? For many movies, 47 million opening weekend would be like, oh my God, what? Like parties everywhere, right? But most movies would kill to have 47 million. But also, most movies do not spend around 300 million of a budget on a movie. So that should be kept in mind as well.
Hold on. Push 100 million was
No, 300 million. 300
Marvel's
million.
300 million.
Marvel's is 300
Oh,
million. Reason
Madonna.
being, there was a lot of reshoots, a lot of work on CGI. So, and Franco, you weren't here when we talked about it, but there was a change in the Marvels and Ant-Man, in the calendar of the Marvels and Ant-Man. Ant-Man, the people who were working on the CGI of Ant-Man had to work triple and quadruple the work to make up the time and releasing a subpar product in Ant-Man 3. Obviously, the CGI in that was completely out of focus. Awful CGI. I can't blame it on the people who worked on the CGI. The Marvels was pushed backwards to obviously to November because they needed a lot of reshoots, tons of reshoots. And we're going to get into reshoots then when we talk about Loki season 2, because that's the positive side of this,
Which
right?
is it's going to be a surprise, even for viewers, because Loki season 2 is like, is this even Marvel? That's what I was
Yep.
saying.
Yep.
That's what I was saying.
And Loki season 2 had 0 reshoots. It's the only Marvel Cinematic Universe project on TV or in cinemas that had 0 reshoots.
That's true. And stay tuned for a hot take from what I said, because I have already discussed it with the guys here about the two directors involved in Loki, who were also involved in Moon Knight as well.
So to put this into context again, first of all, what were the worst releases from the MCU? First of all, we've got The Incredible Hulk with 55.4 million, and 2015's Ant-Man with 57.2 million, obviously not adjusted for inflation. I mean, I said that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was a disaster. However, it still made 106 million in the opening weekend, which
Yeah.
is pretty much double what this movie made. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 180 million and reaching around, I think,
Mm.
900 million. So overall, the Marvels is like the first obvious
Mm.
example that, listen, this is, I mean, here we go, Franco, cost, oh my God, 220 million to produce and 100 million to
So
go to
yeah,
film.
300 million there.
Jesus Christ, man, 320 million. But the problem here, I'm sorry, but the problem here is the planning. Like, why do you need to spend so much money on reshoots? I don't get why they need to
That-
reshoot so many things.
that's one thing, and secondly, if I may, I think there's also an element. I have to get a bit political here because the first Captain Marvel was mired with very misogynistic controversy, and this is
Hmm.
just piling on now. And I really feel sorry for Brie Larson because Brie Larson is not an actress to be shit on, to be honest.
No,
And
no,
even
no.
Nia Da Costa, for fuck's sake, Nia Da Costa did a decent Candyman remake by
Hmm.
the looks
Hmm.
of it, that even Jordan Peele was behind. And Nia Da Costa,
Hmm.
again, she's not like she's unequal to what's his name of sometimes the names don't come to me immediately. The Black Panther director who also did Creed.
Um, oh, just a look who made Creed as well.
Chat, help us.
Oh my God.
Chat, we're growing old. Up,
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan
Ryan
Coogler.
Coogler.
Yeah, yeah.
I looked it up. Yep, agreed, agreed. And to make matters worse for the Marvels, now we've got Hunger Games coming out this week, this coming week. So that's going to take up much of the audience who would
Mm.
probably go to watch the Marvels. And we've also got Wish coming up soon as well.
Thank you,
Coogler,
Keith.
thank you, Keith. Thank you, Keith. Keith always with the very efficient facts coming in in the chat. So we've got two movies which will take up pretty much the whole audience who would have gone to watch the Marvels. So, I mean, like David A. Gross said, this is an unprecedented Marvel box office collapse.
Oh, the
Obviously,
strikes. Yeah,
the
Madonna.
strikes. No. The strikes did hurt the marketing because if you've got Brie Larson, who is a well-renowned actress, marketing the movie, that helps. That definitely helps. Um, but disaster, absolute disaster for Marvel. It will be interesting to see what this leads, and if the Marvels will recover in the coming weeks. I seriously doubt it will, though. Moving on, because quick updates to the White Lotus and also Wednesday, obviously, as we will discuss very soon,
Uh,
with the end of yes, Franco.
Sorry, if you want to get a deep dive more about the Marvels, I suggest two YouTubers. There's an hour and a half video which is great by Patrick H. Williams called "Who Killed Cinema." It's a video essay done in the form of a whodunit, and also check out his other stuff. And also Chris Stuckman made a really good video recently, 20-minute video, thinking that's feeling like that cinema is dying, and it's like these tentpole movies, they have their place, but it shouldn't be just those movies. That's basically
Mhm.
the cream of his video, basically. But do check them out. I mean, we've made our points already. They are better versed to say even those same points better, basically.
Mhm. Mhm. Moving on, like I said, we've got the White Lotus, which will start production very soon. I believe it will start ramping up season 3. This is on November 9th, the very day the SAG AFTRA strike ended, 12:01 a.m. The Emmy-winning HBO anthology series started casting for its upcoming third installment by releasing a list of the new characters. Yella said, "Love a video essay, but it needs to be 8 hours long."
So
That's
like
why Yella likes the Adlib podcast because we're generally
with
we're 2 to 3 hours long.
yeah, Lord of the essays, basically.
Lord of the essays. Um, Filming is tentatively slated to begin in early February in Thailand. I'm so excited to see season 3 of The White Lotus. We've also got Wednesday, which is going to be moving production to Ireland as season 2 eyes spring start. And same thing as in the case of the White Lotus at the end of SAG AFTRA strike, we've got production starting also on season 2 for Wednesday. Franco, did you watch White Lotus?
Not yet. Sorry. I will catch up. I will catch up eventually.
Definitely, definitely one to
Like,
watch.
Andrea, have you watched The Empty Man, for example?
No.
See, episode 37, 3 episodes to go for the
Oh
Empty
my
Man
God, three
special.
episodes to go. Jesus.
Chat, watch Empty Man so that we can all pile up on Andrea on episode 50.
Have you heard of this, Franco? Hannibal movie
The Carthaginian warrior who attacked Rome. Okay.
starring Denzel Washington. We've got a potential Hannibal movie. Obviously, Hannibal being the general who, in the Second Punic War, managed to basically attack the Roman Empire from the north of Italy, passing through the Alps with his very famous elephants and managing to defeat numerous Roman generals before obviously being defeated by General Scipio. Oh my God, my history sometimes abandons me. Anyways, obviously this news comes out also at the end of the SAG AFTRA strike, and I like this. Why not come out with elephant-sized ambition?
Mhm.
Netflix has attached Denzel Washington to play the ancient Carthaginian general Hannibal in an untitled epic drama that will reteam him with Antoine Fuqua for Netflix. That reunites back star and director who first teamed on 2001's Training Day. I love Training Day so much, man. Washington won the Oscar for that turn, and they most recently made the third installment of the Equalizer franchise, a very, very solid Equalizer. Tree really, really liked that movie and did very well in the box office as well. We've also got John Logan, three-time Oscar-nominated The Aviator, and Hugo Scribe, who knows his way around the Sword and Sandals scandal saga with Sword and Sandal or Scandal, do you think it should be, Franco?
Sword and sandal.
I think it should be Sword and Sandal, but like I'm thinking
Deadline needs
Gladiator is quite scandalous as well, to be fair. So
Deadline. If you need proofreader, we're ready. Adle podcast proofreaders for all your
But-
filmmaking article needs.
But we've got John Logan, who is writing the script. Fuqua Washington, Eric Olsen, and Adam Goldworm will produce. Jeremy Lott and Frank Rodriguez-Moll will executive produce. This sounds bloody really interesting. Like I said, Hannibal came over the Alps, attacked Rome from the north. Basically, one of the biggest threats to ever be faced by the Roman Empire. It would be interesting to see Hannibal taking on different Roman generals and defeating them.
Maybe
This would have Vin Diesel starring as Hannibal. What the? No. I prefer Denzel Washington in that role. Obviously, we've got Washington also, who's going to be appearing on in Gladiator 2, which will restart production.
maybe he'll come
very
back.
soon.
He'll come back to Malta as well for this movie. I mean,
They could shoot some scenes because there are some battles and not battles, but Malta was an important part of the Second Punic War as well.
control Malta, control the Mediterranean back in the day.
Exactly. Any thoughts, Frank, about this? Would you be interested in watching this?
No, sorry,
Really?
I'm not really like I will give it a shot. Obviously, like I'm gonna give a shot to another historical epic.
Another is a very good segue, Frank.
Eh,
Because the first reviews and reactions came out for Napoleon. I know a lot of Maltese people are very excited for this, which is why I added it to the news. Napoleon reviews, it's a mixture. It's a mixed bag. To be fair, the last time I checked Rotten Tomatoes, Franco, I don't know if you can check for me. And last time I checked, it was at 79% at around 24 reviews.
so
Yesterday, it was at 82%. Today, when I checked it this morning, it was at 79%. So overall, mixed response, but more positive than negative, definitely. From what I saw from the reactions, most people definitely agree that it is a great looking movie. The visual effects are fantastic. I saw some people, most people said that Joaquin Phoenix looks good, but the best performance is by Vanessa Kirby as his wife.
yep.
That seems to be the general opinion.
Are you ready to see the latest reviews?
What is it at, Franco?
64%.
Oh my God, it's gone really down now. Jesus. It was at 82% yesterday.
But I feel like this is one or the other.
Hmm. Other first reactions. Now, this is the Kingdom of Heaven of the whole thing, right? You've watched the Kingdom of Heaven director's cut, Franco?
I didn't watch the director's cut, so but apparently the director's cut is better than.
You watched the original, so you watched
Yeah, yeah.
the original. Did you watch it in the cinema? I watched it in the cinema. I remember
No,
2005.
no, no. On DVD, I watched it. So
So I watched the original, like the cinema, obviously cut in the cinema. I had a good time, but it did feel like it was a movie chopped to bits. Watching the director's cut, masterpiece. In my opinion, Kingdom of Heaven director's cut is a masterpiece. Such a well-produced movie, and that's what I expect out of Napoleon. I think what we're going to get in the cinema is going to be decent. It's going to look great. There's going to be some great battle scenes. Ridley Scott knows his way around the battle scene. He knows how to produce these beautiful-looking historical epics. But I'm afraid that to tell the story of Napoleon, you need more than 2.5 hours. Like, you can't tell the story of Napoleon in 2.5 hours.
maybe they're going to have what you call it, an Apple TV. This is Apple TV, right? Apple.
Mhm.
Hopefully, they put on a streaming
They
cut.
are, Franco.
Oh, okay,
They're
so
going to release a 4 hour, 10-minute cut,
mm.
basically the whole director's cut, which is, I think, one of the reasons why Ridley Scott agreed to have Apple TV producing his movie. Apart from the big budget that they gave him, they
I
gave him a
mean,
massive budget for this, and it shows.
listen, one Ridley Scott's movies. Remember, we had Blade Runner. First, it was a total flop, and then it became a cult hit. So maybe this is
Hmm.
like,
Hmm. So I'm very much excited to watch this. I'm going to be going to watch it. I probably won't go watch it on the opening day because it comes
okay.
out on the 22nd of November. Probably I'll go watch it on the 24th on Friday. But I know NBC are going to have an event on the 22nd. There's going to be a party on the 22nd. I don't think I'll go to the party though. I think I'll go watch it on the 24th. Like Chris Evangelista says here on Twitter, Napoleon feels truncated, so I can only assume the director's cut is better, and that's also my assumption. So some criticism: Napoleon is pointless, or Joaquin Phoenix portraying the famed general as an idiot is entertaining, but only for a moment. You never get a sense of Josephine or Napoleon as a ruler or anything really. It's merely a drab costume play without any contemporary significance. Mm, this is a weird
Exactly. Yeah,
review.
yeah. That's
This is a very weird review.
that's a good reaction.
And then obviously we've got the historical accuracy people to whom Ridley Scott says fuck you. Literally, because he literally said fuck you to them.
It is a movie,
Get a life.
guys.
Get a life.
For fuck's sake, even Adam Driver is like, oh well, yeah, fuck you.
To be fair, they did say it's perversely watchable in the thrilling epic Napoleon. So, I mean, most reviewers seem to be mostly positive with some negative elements there. Courtney Howard, very, very positive. Absolutely rips. Compelling love story between a man and his country. Military career, wife, and ego. Battle sequences are visceral, gory, and gorgeously expansive in scale and scope. Phoenix is great, but Kirby transcends. This seems to be the general. This seems to be the general reaction. So I'm
Reactions.
very much looking forward. Franco, are you going to go watch it?
I know,
Napoleon?
I'm going to be at work there, and hopefully there'll be enough space for me to go watch the 2 hour 38 minutes. And yeah,
Nice. To conclude, obviously last week we had SAG AFTRA reaching an agreement with AMPTP. I looked up like a summary to it all, and I got the summary from Deadline, which seems to be a decent summary of the whole thing. Franco, did you have a look at like the general agreement?
no, but I've been following the writer of The Bear about this, and they're not really agreeing. They don't really. It feels like they're not agreeing at all with the agreement whatsoever. It's
There's
not
been quite a
enough.
lot of criticism. There's been a bit of criticism, yes, definitely been a bit of criticism. Let us know, by the way, in the comment section below. Are you excited to go watch Napoleon? I'm very much excited. Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget, if you're enjoying the podcast, please do leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you to all the viewers and listeners joining us once more. Lots of viewers joining us. So happy about that. Moving on, like I said, to the SAG AFTRA deal, let's have a quick look at the basic agreements. So the whole conflict was all about number one, wages, obviously, number two, AI, right? Those are the two big issues at play. I think pretty much that is. I mean,
So
obviously, digital alteration goes into the whole element of AI. Sorry, Franco.
finish this, then I'll tell you something I saw recently about AI.
All right, all
But
right, okay.
okay, continue. Sorry.
So, long story short, let's get into the whole thing. First of all, employment based digital replica. So, this is obviously something we also heard about here in Malta. Franco, I don't know if you want to go into the whole digital replica that the story that came up here in Malta.
I think Matthew Maggi, if you want to know more, Matthew Maggi is the guy. Guys, go follow the guy, Matthew Maggi, and also Apasha, if I'm not mistaken, his movement that deals with this kind of thing. Um, uh, this thing is also this. It's okay. We have a sort of agreement which is still being meted out and knocked out, which is not exactly fully fledged by the looks of it. Hollywood can still bypass it when, like in Malta, because we still don't have something equivalent to SAG AFTRA. So that's my only thing. Like, that's my only thing. There's nothing else I can say. Just like, actually, if any actors or directors that are watching and they want to be on the safe side, this is a good base, and they should know their rights. As filmmakers, basically. Other than that,
Mhm,
it's like.
mhm. So we've got employment-based digital replica, which is basically created during a performance employment with their physical participation. We've also got independently created digital replica, which are digital replicas creating using material that the producers already have. Obviously, a lot of work went into discussing like the element of consent, because consent in this case is very, very important. And there's going to be clear contracts with the whole thing, with the whole description of how your kind of like your digital replica is going to be used and in what it's going to be shown. Additional consent requirements for use in additional projects as well. Franco, I don't know if you want to comment about that.
No, I was going to comment on the independently created digital replica. That's for because the
Okay.
first thing that came to my mind. What's the point? What's the point of having people train as actors and searching for new talent if you're gonna keep on using the same actor all over again even after he's dead? It's pointless. It's pointless. It's like what decide? Like, what do you want? Do you want to like imagine? Okay, so Chris Hemsworth. I'm mentioning Chris Hemsworth as an example. You want to keep using Thor because I mean it's happening right now because even Marvel are thinking. Speaking of Loki season 2 finale, Marvel are thinking of bringing back the original Avengers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so there's no opportunity whatsoever then. So I've already see that as a very like a huge question mark.
Mm-hmm. 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 Anyways, so there obviously there's going to be lots of compensation for actors and actresses whose digital replica is taken. Obviously, then in the element of regulating artificial intelligence, we've got generative artificial intelligence, basically a subset of artificial intelligence that learns patterns from data and produces content based on those patterns, able to simulate a performer's voice, facial expressions, and movements to create entirely new content. Man, this is so creepy. This is so Black Mirror. In that case, there are lots of guidelines that have been agreed upon. There are going to be regular meetings, again, compensation and whatnot. Finally, background actors. And this is the one that worries me the most because, the big actors are safe, are covered. They don't need to worry. They
Mm-mm.
still need to be on. But background actors, when we think about actors, we think about the rich, super successful Hollywood stars, right?
Yep.
But then in Los Angeles, there's hundreds, if not and thousands, of actors and actresses working in bars, in cafes, in restaurants as waiters, trying to find their next gig, right? Trying to find their
Mm.
next background appearance. And if many producers are going to be using digital replication of these background actors. There needs to be some kind of compensation, right? And apparently, there is going to be compensation. If a background actor is called in just for replication, they get paid for a full day. If the digital replica is used as a principal character, the actor gets paid a principal's rate for the estimated days they would have worked. And time spent creating a digital replica counts as work time and is paid accordingly. Franco.
So, because I found you, I'm gonna show you. I thought I hopefully can also show it on the live stream here. So basically, recently I saw always Corridor Crew. That's a great education for anyone who wants to learn about filmmaking and also especially 3D filmmaking. They showed this scene. If you click on the link, this was in a Disney Plus movie recently, and if you note, do you notice something with the background, the background actors and the crowd? I sent you a link in the on the
One
program.
second, because I have ad blocker and it won't let me show it without ads. So let me share it on screen. Now Disney slammed. There we go. So what's this about, Franco?
So if you scroll down,
Oh my god, what the fuck is that?
yep.
Oh my god, that is so bloody creepy.
and
What the fuck is that?
and they're not really good scans when they see you see them clapping like this.
Jesus.
Yes.
What the fuck is that?
Yep.
Jesus. Oh my god. Oh shit. I didn't see this news. We'll mention that soon. Talking about Loki. We'll get into that. So this looks bloody creepy. This looks really, really creepy. Jesus. So
Yeah.
this is AI, right? It's obviously AI.
I mean, it's digital extras, so yeah. Like there was someone. Yeah, it's The Sims, but worse. but
Oh my god, no way. That
there's
looks so
and
creepy.
there's more. So it's like those. There's one, two, three, four, five, six, and then there's more up there, and it's like
You know what this reminds me of? Have you ever played FIFA, Franco?
yes.
The FIFA, the supporters in the stadium, and you see the same guy in the same five, and every five chairs, you see him going.
Yeah.
Jesus, that looks horrible. Like, come on, man. At least put in a bit of effort. Like, and seriously, you can't put in like 10 support, like background actors there and pay them. Like, is it that hard? Is it that hard? But anyways.
What are you watching there? Sorry.
No, that's the same website you sent me. You sent me that link. Not
Me?
Anyways, yeah.
I'm in a dystopia and I don't like it, says Yella. It's like, yeah, dystopia AI. Oh, sorry.
I'm in a dystopia. Yeah. I agreed completely. Yalla. I mean, even for example, for animation and for design, it must be quite a scary thing, right? AI. I mean, AI obviously will never be able to do the kind of work you do, like, because obviously AI has no soul. So at the end of the day, AI work will never be able to 100% replicate and bring out the true soul that there is in work coming from people.
So basically, no, I won't say that joke. It's a dark joke, sorry, because you said AI have no souls. Melapal, no.
Oh, whoa. Anyways, of course, apart from artificial intelligence, we've also got wage increases. Wage minimums for performers will increase by 7%, effective immediately, followed by another 4% increase in July 2024 and a 3.5% bump in July 2025. Yep, I watched Pluto the other weekend and I spotted some weird ass animation. Oh shit. Okay.
Pluto.
It's on Netflix, I believe. Well, was it on Netflix? I believe it was on Netflix. I'm not 100% sure. So that's with regard to wage increases. I think. Then we've got streaming bonuses. Performers will be granted a streaming bonus if their program is viewed by at least 20% of the streaming platform's domestic subscribers within the first 90 days of its release. 25% of that bonus will go to a newly created streaming payment distribution fund, which will be used for streaming bonuses for additional performers. Casting and auditions, we've got more about that. Equity and inclusion, sexual harassment prevention, pretty much that. Astro Boy Alternative Universe Netflix. Yes, yeah, I saw it. I saw it advertised on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So that's it, pretty much, with regard to the SAG AFTRA deal. Franco,
See.
hearing about all of that, what do you think? Was it a successful deal for SAG AFTRA? So and
Mm,
so.
so and so. So and so. Like I said, it's after I rely on the writer of the bear about this thing, so it doesn't seem like the writers got a good deal apparently, but the actors still have to struggle a bit more. So it's like the producers are trying to get through the window instead of the door. Through the
Through the
window.
window.
Boomer throwback there.
Yeah, jeez. To conclude our news, I'm just going to mention something really quick about this because obviously this week we had the nominations of the Game Awards, which were released. Franco played all these games, so he'll let us
Yes,
know
yes, yes.
what he thinks about the nominations. But Franco, did you like your time with Alan Wake 2?
Dude,
Also called the A24 video game by
really?
Joe. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, actually, like I was this close to purchase Alan Wake 1, but no, I'm sorry, guys, I don't have time to play. You know what I'm playing? Actually, call me such a nerd or a dork. There's emulations of the Game Boy emulations online, and I'm playing a game called Bomber Boy.
Oh, shit.
Atomic
Okay.
Punk. I like those old timey simple games.
I would play the old Pokemon Australia Kiku.
I mean, you can find it free online, so you can don't go for it. Or do you remember there was a Amiga as well, New Zealand story, the New Zealand
Yep.
story.
Yep.
That's tough, man. Those controls are tough.
Our old games were really difficult. So the more I play old games, the more I find out how difficult they were.
Yeah, it's like something is holding you back, but it's good. It's good. It's a good mental training as well.
Talking about difficult, Baldur's Gate 3 was definitely a difficult game. And Baldur's Gate 3, by the way, is definitely
Yeah.
going to win Game of the Year. Because games which are nominated for Game of the Year 2023 Game of the Year were the following: Alan Wake 2, made by Remedy Entertainment and Epic Games Publishing. We've got Baldur's Gate 3, made obviously by my beloved Larian Studios. Marvel Spider-Man 2, made by Insomniac Games and SIE. Resident Evil 4, which isn't Resident Evil 4 a remake. Why is it Game of
Remastered
the
this
Year?
one. Yeah.
Remaster, exactly. That's weird. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which I haven't played, so I cannot comment about. And The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which I purchased but haven't even opened from the box, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I need to find the time.
Yella can tell you a lot about it. Apparently, it's quite
Yes,
good.
definitely. Ella can tell us a lot about Legend of Zelda. The previous Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. This is Tears of the Kingdom. I forgot what the previous one was named.
Spirit of the Wind?
Um,
No.
no, I played it quite a lot. I played like 60, 70, 80 hours of it. I had a good time. I'm going to be honest, I didn't love it. There were some elements of the open world which I felt it was a bit too empty at times. I love my open worlds to be packed with stuff to do. Spider-Man, I haven't played Spider-Man 2. I played Spider-Man 1 and I had a very good time. From what I saw, it seems to be quite a short game. But like quality-wise, it seems insane, like the fast travel in Spider-Man 2. Seeing like just snap a finger and you fast traveled. The animations, the graphics look great. So I'll probably purchase Spider-Man 2 when I get my PlayStation 5. Alan Wake 2, unfortunately, I haven't watched any game. I've watched a bit of gameplay. I haven't played it, so I can't comment about it. Baldur's Gate 3 is a great, amazing, amazing game. You know what I don't see here? Two games. Starfield, which is there available for best RPG. To be fair, I didn't like Starfield, but I understand why it's there for best RPG. And you know what's also isn't here? Hogwarts Legacy, and it's not nominated for
Um,
anything. Jesus,
they're not.
I
They're
think that
not.
must be a political reason
They're
why
not
it's not
gonna.
nominated.
They're not gonna. For sure.
I think Hogwarts Legacy is a much better RPG than Starfield, for example. I think that should take its place. Anyway, but those are the video games which are nominated for best game of the year. Of course, then there are other sectors which we'll comment about when the winners come out, especially when Joe is here, because obviously Joe and I can talk a bit about
If
games.
if if
Franco,
the if the Last of Us doesn't win, I'm gonna flip some shit for best
best
adaptation.
adaptation.
If the Last
Goodney,
of
Castlevania Nocturne. I wasn't the biggest fan of Castlevania
No,
Nocturne.
but I put the mud if the Last of Us doesn't win, man. Like they give it to some
Gran Turismo was great. Gran Turismo was really fun, but not as good as Last of Us. Super Mario Bros. I'm sorry, I didn't like it. Twisted Metal, I haven't watched, but I have heard a lot of good stuff about it. Fans of the game liked Twisted Metal from what I saw, but again, I saw very little about it. I just saw a few people on Twitter who loved the game and said they liked the adaptation. Obviously, The Last of Us. You loved it, Franco. I liked it. I
Last
don't
of
think I
Us.
loved it.
Really?
Yes, yeah. I think some episodes were a bit wasted. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna give you a huge like a dramatic side eye. I'm gonna give you a dramatic side eye.
You know what I'm talking about.
Mama.
You know what I'm talking about.
We needed a Joe here. Guys,
Yeah.
say on the comment that The Last of Us is a good adaptation. Okay,
No. It's
pile
a
up on it.
very good adaptation. Very good adaptation. Just some decisions which were taken I didn't agree with. I'll put it that way.
Insane.
So, viewers and listeners, that is it with regard to news. Let us know in the comment section below any of these pieces of news which piqued your interest. Let us know in the comment section because now it's time for our reviews. Franco, we've got. Shall I start with the Marvels and get that out of the way before we move on to the good MCU stuff
Let's go.
with Loki and then conclude with The Killer? I think we can go in that
Talgen.
direction. So
Play.
I'll start off with the Marvels. Obviously, Franco, again, I'm going to repeat this, abandoned me.
Mama.
I had to watch the Marvel. To be fair, my parents came to see it with me because my parents were going to go watch. We're going to go watch. Madoffi. What
Exorcist.
were they going to go watch? Exorcist. They're like,
No.
come watch the Marvels with me. And obviously, I dragged my parents to come watch the Marvels. Interesting. It has a 6.1 on IMDb, higher than I expected it to be. Anyways, the Marvels. What is it all about? So here are my notes. So obviously, the Marvels is a sequel to 2019's Captain Marvel. I recently rewatched Captain Marvel, and to be honest with you, I did quite dislike it. I remember liking it when it came out in the cinema in 2019. I really remember liking it. Like I watched it and I was like, not bad.
For me, it was
But
okay.
now-
It was
now
okay.
that I've watched it.
Didn't mind it, to be honest.
Oh, I rewatched it, Franco. The opening half hour, like I had no idea what was going on. Like literally, and I've watched this movie. It's like, what the fuck? Anyways, so it's obviously it's a continuation of not only Captain Marvel but also of Miss Marvel. It's a continuation of WandaVision. So to watch this, you need to do a lot of homework. Now, obviously, my parents came in this without doing any of that homework because obviously my parents have a life, unlike myself, and they obviously they haven't watched Miss Marvel and they haven't watched Captain Marvel. They did watch WandaVision though, because WandaVision is good, so they watched the good stuff. To be fair, Miss Marvel is also decent. I hope, you know, the one thing I hope that comes out of this movie is that more people go watch Miss Marvel, because Miss Marvel is actually really fun. Anyways, the film obviously is directed by Nia Da Costa and features obviously 3 characters as our protagonists. We've got Carol Danvers, also Captain Marvel, we've got Monica Rambeau, and we've got Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel, starring Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, and Iman Vellani. The basic story is this. Now, before I start the story, I have to say that I feel like there should be a movie between Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel of 2019, and this movie. Because a lot of events take place between Captain Marvel and this movie. And at the opening of the movie, I'm like, wait, shit, I don't think I've done all my homework.
Secret Invasion, no? Because you had
I've
to
watched
watch-
Secret Invasion as well, but Secret Invasion comes after this. It released before this, but that's because the Marvels was moved after Secret Invasion. But when they were shot,
Okay.
the Marvels was supposed to be before Secret Invasion. So there's that as well to keep in mind. I know it gets really complicated. I had to look this stuff up, Franco. Trust me. So watching the first half an hour, I'm like, wait, I've watched bar Thor 2. I've watched every single Marvel thing. So why am I completely lost as to what's going on? Basically, there's this whole story with Captain Marvel destroying this supreme intelligence of the Kree, which leads to this massive civil war and the destruction of their home world, Hala. And this is explained in like 2-3 minutes. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, what's going on? What happened to the Kree? What happened to the what's going on here? Anyways, none of this is explained. I mean, it is explained, but in like a split second. Obviously, my mom and dad were completely lost. They had absolutely no idea what was going on. I was lost, and I've watched every single fucking MCU movie for like 2-3 times at least now at this point. But anyways, I really need a life. Save me from the MCU. Anyways, our villain is I have to look up the villain because the villain is so forgettable. Darben. Our villain Darben, who is the leader of the Kree, retrieves one of the quantum bands, which you also see Kamala Khan has in Miss Marvel. Anyways, she harnesses the power of the band, tears open a jump point in space, and this results in an anomaly. We've also got Nick Fury, who's trying to host peace talks between the Kree and the Skrulls. Obviously, the entry of Darben into the whole story ruins this, together with Carol Danvers, and basically the gist of it all is the plot makes absolutely no fucking sense. I did not understand the plot. No one who watched this movie understood the plot. All I know that happened in this movie is that every time Captain Marvel, one of Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, or Miss Marvel use their powers together at the same time, they switched places. Now, that element, to get into the positives, that element was fun because it leads to some very fun action. I think Nia Da Costa does a very good job with directing the action. I think most of the action is really well choreographed. It's chaotic, but it's fun. And to be honest with you, Franco, I went into this a little scared that I was going to be biased against it. And I did put in a lot of effort trying to like this movie. And I actually had a good time with the first half hour, because in the first half hour, it's literally 2 minutes of explanation, and then boom, action. 30 minutes basically of non-stop action. So you've got the humorous elements in this as well, which work really well. I laughed quite a bit in this movie. Those are all good stuff. Kamala Khan is great. The character of Kamala Khan. I love Iman Vellani. I think she is a very lovable character. I mean, even her facial expressions are hilarious. She's good fun. Her family are really good as well. Her mom and dad are great. Her brother as well is very funny. So overall, I love the chemistry between Kamala Khan and her family. I also love the chemistry between the three leads. I think the overall chemistry between them is good. It feels quite realistic. I think seeing Kamala Khan like being like, "Oh my God, Captain Marvel! Oh my God, I love you so much." I mean, it's funny watching it. It's not funny listening to me, but it's funny watching it.
Stick to podcasting, Andrea. Not
Yeah. Like I said, the action is well shot, well choreographed. CGI at times is decent. At times, it's a little iffy. Which leads me, obviously, to the many negatives of this movie. First of all, the bloody villain. The villain is, oh my God, so forgettable. It's like they completely forgot to write a backstory for the villain. We just see the villain like hit by Captain Marvel at one point, and now she's the villain. That's it. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, really, this movie has a massive hole. There is no villain. And in fact, this movie has a massive hole in that it has no plot. Like, nothing makes sense. Like, and I told you this, Franco, and I showed you my Twitter review. Like, this movie feels like a mishmash of different action scenes which were shot, cut together in post, and put together haphazardly. And you've got a movie, right?
Which is apparently the MO of Marvel, according to the podcast that Joe sent to us.
Yep.
But that apparently they shoot the sequence, they shoot the scenes, they shoot the sequence, and then like Kevin Feige and friends like mix and match and see what works and which it's not really. Which we'll see we'll see huge difference
Hmm.
in Loki, in fact.
Definitely,
But
definitely.
first, we finish with this review.
I've got a few more points, Franco. Sorry,
No, no,
I've
yeah,
got a
yeah,
lot
that's
of
what.
stuff to say about
Yes,
the
yes,
Marvels.
yes. That's why
So, like I said,
I said like we finish with this review and then we go into Loki.
exactly, exactly. So, like I said, mishmash of action sequences put together haphazardly. Um, and there's another thing I have to say, unfortunately, and this might sound a little bad because it's a guy saying this, but I'm sorry, but Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau are boring. I'm sorry, but their characters are boring. They're boring. There's nothing interesting about them. Monica Rambeau creates light. Captain Marvel shoots light. What? We learn nothing about them. Like there's supposed to be this heartfelt reunion between them. The actors are doing their best. Don't get me wrong. I love Brie Larson. She's a great actress. I've been watching her in Lessons in Chemistry. Great series. Go watch it. Go watch a good Brie Larson performance in Lessons in Chemistry. This, unfortunately, Brie Larson has nothing to work with. Nothing to work with. Nothing to work with. Anyways, the plot is bare bones. There pretty much is no narrative that makes sense. Oh my god, then there is a planet. Franco, there is a singing planet in this.
Oh my god!
And they spend like 10 minutes singing and dancing.
No, no.
And listen, the MCU has a lot of cringe in it. But I really honestly think that this is the most
The cringe,
cringe
yes.
I've ever seen in an MCU movie. I'm watching the movie. And at one point, Brie Larson starts to sing with the people who are welcoming them because this on this planet, basically people communicate by singing, right? So
Oh
Brie
my
Larson starts to sing, and I'm like, okay, they're just going to put one scene of this, make it be a little funny, and then move on. But it continues, and it continues, and it continues, and it never ends. And it's like 7 minutes of this bloody singing. And then after we realize, oh, the prince is bilingual, so he can speak normally as well. Fuck, man. She should have done that at once. It's no, it's not good. It's not good. Also, why do these MCU movies feel so small scale? Like there is a planet invasion. And all we see are 10 soldiers defending this whole planet and 10 soldiers attacking this planet. Like a planetary invasion with 10 soldiers attacking and 10 soldiers defending. Like,
like so like Mostri had more soldiers than Marvels. What?
what Miss Marvel the musical?
Yes, yes, yes. Robert Pisani, DJ Bob, and the house.
DJ Bob, indeed, there's 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, I think a little less, like 7, 8 minutes of singing. But so, Bob, I had heard of this singing, of the singing element. And I was like, okay, maybe they're going to get into like Pakistani culture. And no, 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 it's really bad. It's really, really, really bad. And you know what my final comment about this movie was, Franco? This movie feels pointless.
Hmm.
Like I got out of this movie, I left, and I'm like, why did I watch this movie? What did I get out of it? Did I have? I laughed a little bit. Fair enough. I had an okay time at times in this movie. But at the end of the day, what did I get out of it? It's pointless.
Was it necessary? No. Did it
Nothing.
change? Did it change the MCU?
Now, you that I don't know if it was done on purpose or not, Franco. But that's a really good segue to something else I wanted to comment about this movie. Because the trailers for this movie are absolutely disgusting and a disgrace. First of all, literally on the trailer, you have the movie that will change everything. Change what? Nothing changed. Nothing happened. One character, oh, it's because that goes into spoilers. I can't spoil it. One character, something happens to one of the characters, but
Wait, let's do a quick poll. Let's do a quick poll. Guys in chat, everyone in chat, say, I want to see a show of hands who wants to spoil the Marvels if you're interested in watching it.
there's nothing much to spoil now because nothing much really happens. That's the thing in this movie. You have a lot of action. Cats eat people and then regurgitate them on Earth.
So basically, this is a movie for cat people.
It is a movie for cat people, yes, it is.
Okay.
But
So we
it's
have
pointless. It's completely pointless. It's completely pointless. I don't say this. I'm not happy saying this because some people might be thinking I'm, having, oh, he's a hater of the MCU. Probably changed cinema room midway. Yeah, yep. We should have done that. But the thing is, Bob, the only other thing that was going on, if I'm not mistaken, it was Exorcist Believer. I probably should have just rewatched Killers of the Flower Moon again. That would have
True.
been a much better experience. Um, but yeah, that was my experience with the Marvels. I don't hate the MCU. I'm the one here who still is trying. Because
True.
Joe gave up a long time ago.
True.
Franco, when did you give up, Franco?
And I'm always on the fence. Like I saw Loki was getting. I tell you what got me into Loki basically because I saw that Benson and Moore had. I can't be bothered investing in any more MCU nonsense, said Yella.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But do actually, here's the surprising thing now. We can segue into Loki season two.
Definitely.
Because what got me to watching it is that there are episodes directed by the directing duo Benson and Moorhead, and you should give these guys. You should check out their filmography. Benson and Moorhead started off in the indie sphere. They have some really interesting movies. Obviously, not all work. Like they had the Synchronicity. I liked it. Not their best. For me, their absolute best is The Endless. There's some scenes which are absolutely like cosmically horror. Like there was a sense of cosmic horror I haven't felt in ages. Um, but this season was really they played on their forte because Benson and Moorhead, much of their movies deal with time, and they couldn't have found the best
my God.
material with
Perfect choice.
perfect choice. Yeah,
Jesus. Like I didn't know this thing about the fact that they deal a lot with time.
no, they had. To be fair, I loved WandaVision, so I can't be swayed. Uh, WandaVision, yes. So like if they should do more like WandaVision, and Loki sees. In fact, my hot take about this, they should give Benson and Moorhead a movie now, because even in Moon Knight,
yes.
when I watched Moon Knight, their episodes were so much more fun and well directed than the main director, and this showed so much. Okay, let's start with the story. So basically, Loki resumes his role as the God of Mischief in a new series that takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. This is season 2. I preferred season 1 to season 2. We see more mature Loki, that he's finding a purpose than being a villain.
Wait, you preferred season 1 or season 2?
Season 2. I prefer season 2 more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too.
Like there's in this season there was no episode, like I remember, I forgot if it was season 4, episode 4 in season 1, which was like, this is pointless.
You remember, Franco, we had talked about it, in fact. I think we had about it, like episode 3 or episode 4. It was losing me as well. I think it was 4. It was losing, but then episode 5 was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But this one there was no episode, and because that's why like Benson and Moore did a really good job putting the pieces of the puzzle. I think this might be a bit of a con. You have to follow the negatives. You have to follow through because it's a bit of a time slipping narrative. So I have to keep up with what's happening and where in the timeline Loki is as well. But they managed to do it so well. Like there was the moment where he sees himself. Badinya. So good. And even you know what I enjoyed about this as well? The camera work and the blocking.
Oh my God, the camera work is so beautiful.
Like
the cinematography is insane.
And
so
guys,
good, really good stuff.
Guys, I know the word sounds funny. Spaghettification is very horrible, and it is actually a theoretical. It is actually a theoretical physics notion that when you approach a black hole, you get spaghettified. So because of the force and also the light and time. But I think spaghettification is some of the scenes were like, "Illal, how well made." Even the special effects they didn't look iffy or not. Jonathan Majors, despite all the troubles he had, objectively he's a good actor.
He's such a good actor. He's such a good actor. Yep.
At first, he was bothering me with his portrayal of Victor Timely. I was like, it was a bit too, not facetious. What's it called? His quirk was a bit too put on. But then I grew to get used to him. Like
And in the final episode, Franco, when he who remains makes fun of Victor Timely.
yeah,
Timely.
yeah, exactly.
That brought a smile out of me.
Yeah. There's some good scenes. You know what I noticed as well, that the apparently the color of time is green as well. Did you notice that?
The stone.
Yeah. And I must say, one of the plot points felt similar to watching a scene out of Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange. Tell me if you know which one.
Yes. I see it. Yes. Different approach though. Like the concept is similar, but the way they try to tackle the problem is differently.
A different approach. Now, I genuinely I cannot this is what the Marvel should focus on. It's like there was so much. I have to mention there was a moment where like Loki was put into the scene, like it was CG, like it looked very CG. So that's one comment. But otherwise, the rest of the CG, like even the final moments when he goes back into this.
The final scene in this, the whole final episode is just I think
it's
one of the best episodes ever released on Disney Plus.
I haven't been emotional watching something Marvel. I've been emotional with Guardians of the Galaxy, with some of their scenes, but this one really hit me as well. Again, the camera work. I forgot which one was it. There was such a. It's stupid. I know it's stupid, but remember there's a moment where there was like the telephone ringing, and basically the camera just goes behind the.
Yes.
Simple enough, but the Marvel, the MCU needs this kind of moments. Needs this kind of camera work. And just Benson and Moorhead I feel like they're capable of handling something bigger now.
And it's stylish, unlike the Marvels. In the Marvels, that's one of the things I was also disappointed about the Marvels, because you've got a talented director in Nia Da Costa, but you don't see any of the style that you expect out of a talented director.
But
was Nia Da Costa allowed to?
Exactly. I was gonna say. We were discussing that maybe Nia Da Costa, her work was meddled with. I don't know how much they were meddled with, Benson and Moorhead, in their work. We should ask them, friends of the show.
Not at all. Apparently, at least from what they said. No intervention. They were allowed to do whatever they wanted, basically, and it shows. It pretty much shows on screen. The ending, Franco. The ending was. Whew,
yeah, the music as well. Like I was actually.
The music, so good. Natalie Holt, so good, man. The soundtrack. You remember, Franco, when I was driving you, we were talking about like soundtracks and themes. The Loki theme is very memorable. Huh?
Yeah, the Loki theme is very memorable. The theme of the clock and they try. I think many this season of Loki, many people were allowed to express their creativity to make a really good vision through the actors, even Sylvie. Kiher Kwan, Casey.
Sofia De Martino, she's so good, man. She's such a presence, Astra, that actress.
And I genuinely love the production design, like the way it's like even there's a moment like, oh my god, what's happening? It's like, don't tell me that the TVA was based on this thing. Yeah, I don't know if you remember. And I like the play of why he's called OB, Ouroboros. The
Yes.
snake that bites its own tail. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I'm a sucker for time slipping and time traveling movies. And this is a I forgot that this was Marvel for a moment, and I enjoyed it just as a simple.
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
I was like I was watching Quantum Leap almost, if you remember.
And to conclude, we have to mention Tom Hiddleston.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, yes,
throughout
yes.
his chemistry with Owen Wilson, like even in season one, it was great, but in season two, I feel like they took it up a notch. Like they understood that that chemistry is one of the most successful things about the series, and they took it up a notch because it's so good, such great performance, and his final moments, like his facial expression, tells a thousand words.
Yes, Owen Wilson is so good. Oh man, yes, when because basically the conflict that there is within the TVA is some employees are rebelling because they would want, for those who followed season one, they find out that some of the employees had lives before they were basically abducted to work into the TVA. And we see Owen Wilson's character's life as well, how it used to be. And so I have to see. I don't know if there were some flaws in this like technical flaws or not, but
The story sometimes I was a little just a little bit lost at times
yes,
in the
yes.
story.
I got lost when he starts to control basically when he gets the time slipping under control. Basically, that was like, okay, what's happening? Science slash fiction is the episode.
Science slash fiction, exactly. Um, Franco, one last question before we move on to the killer. Would you say that from all the MCU characters you've seen, Loki had the best arc?
Um, yeah,
Because he had quite the arc. Keep
yeah,
in mind, the first time we saw Loki was in Avengers, right?
yeah.
Or was there a Thor movie before
He's got
Avengers?
he's got quite the arc. There was a Thor movie, but I don't think he
Yes.
was. And honestly, finally, that Tom Hiddleston is also closing the door on this character, because Tom Hiddleston.
Mm,
No, please, please, please,
mm,
please, no, 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 please. I genuinely, Tom Hiddleston, please find something else. Please do a Days Diesel movie. Yo, please, like work with Robert Eggers. Imagine a Robert Eggers movie with
yes,
Tom
yes,
Hiddleston.
yes, 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 yes,
Please.
yes. But I doubt this is going to be at the end because when Disney see something successful, they won't let it rest. They won't let it rest. And
Look,
Hiddleston, listen, Hiddleston loves this stuff. Hiddleston loves. He's a geek at heart. He loves this stuff. I don't think he'll be able to say no
look,
to this and to the money.
as long as it's in the hands of Benson and Moorhead, yeah, fine with it. I'm fine with it. That's what I'm gonna say.
By the way, you know what I just noticed? I didn't give a rating for the Marvels, and let's give a rating for Loki first. So, Franco, if you had to give a rating to season two on its own, not season one and season two,
Four on
what would you give
five.
it?
4 on 5.
4 on 5. Yep,
Yeah.
agreed. 4 on 5 from me too. 4 on 5 from me too. In the case of the Marvels, viewers and listeners, it definitely doesn't get a 4 on 5. I'm going to be very fair with it. I'm going to give it 2.5 for the fun action and for Miss Marvel for how good Iman Vellani is in it. So 2.5 for the Avengers. And to conclude, we're going to conclude. Man, I can't believe what a year we've had for cinema. Now I say cinema in the sense that I watched this movie on
At home.
Netflix at home.
Almad, Almad Donnach. Sorry, hi, Jet.
But I mean, it's 2023 and we got another David Fincher. Do you want to go at it first, Franco?
So basically, the killer, the story, we've seen the story, but after faithful near miss, an assassin battles his employers and himself on international manhunt he insists isn't personal. A movie directed by David Fincher, reteaming with Andrew Kevin Walker. I'm gonna say it all out. This movie is going to be divisive. I'm a David Fincher boy. I love everything he does, even the bombs and the misfires. David Fincher is a great filmmaker. For me, he's one of the quintessential filmmakers working at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. Um, uh,
100%.
when I was speaking to the prickly pears about this movie, I said this is an anti-John Wick. He doesn't. I feel Fincher doesn't want you to empathize a lot with Fassbender's character, which doesn't have a name. That's actually that was such a. This movie is also very funny. It's also very
It
funny.
is. I wasn't expecting it. So I should have expected it to be funny, to be fair, because it's Fincher, and Fincher does a lot of humor in his movies.
I
Like
think.
dark humor, but humor nonetheless.
Yeah, I think that's what I think why it didn't do as well as other movies, because they were expecting like this sort of another Seven, because he was teaming with Andrew Kevin Walker, and this is almost it's more like in the vein of House of Cards, if I would say it, or something more in the vein of what's it called? Um, uh, Mindhunter.
Mindhunter. Uh-huh. Yeah, more Mindhunter, I'd say. Yeah.
But this was so funny, and I saw a small essay as well where it says it feels like it's a self parody as well. It's like never anticipate, don't improvise, and Fincher
Oh,
is known not to improvise. So there's that.
always anticipate.
I
Always
always
anticipate.
anticipate.
Ilalla, man. What do you
And
think about the monologuing, Franco?
it didn't bother me at all.
Not at all. I loved it. I
in,
loved it. I loved it.
in fact, I think it's the one basically he botches. It's in the story. I found it still as I found it surprising, because it gives you this sort of guy that is like perfections, and then this thing happens.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
it's uh, it's interesting. I found it interesting, and I'm sorry for anyone who's saying that this is not stylish. Fuck you, man. It's like
How is this not like the
stylish.
lighting in this? I was constantly
Oh,
bothering my girlfriend as we were watching it. I was like, "Oh my god, the lighting is so beautiful in this scene!" Like
something interesting as well.
Fincher's lighting is just out of this world, Franco.
Something interesting as well, that he uses lots of shaky camera. Fincher's not known to be using lots of shaky camera, but this movie, it's like when it needed it, he went into the shaky cam territory. And I'm sorry, it's like so many memorable moments. I was a bit put off by the ending as well. As like it felt very sudden, the ending. That's got me a bit like, okay, what's happening?
Mm. All right, I think the message of the ending is a bit too on the nose. Would you say that?
Maybe I have to. I want to watch it again. I want to watch it again with my father, because it's so enjoyable. The action is so good. Like
The action is amazing.
it is
The fight
John Wick.
sequence. The fight
Oof.
sequence. Like
If
that was chef's kiss. Like that fight
yes,
sequence. Like how are people? I don't understand how people are saying this was monotonous as well. Like, I thought it was. Like the 2 hours just flew by. Yeah, my girlfriend started the movie. 2 hours later, boom, we're finished. What the movie's?
yeah, but
Holy shit, that was.
that's why I said it's an anti John Wick, because John Wick has this kind of cartoon like entertainment. This is more like introspective.
Mhm.
Like some of the kills are so
Ilalo.
it's
Clinical, so clinical.
clinical, and I think I feel like Fincher's making a point. It's like, dude, why should I fucking empathize with a killer? That's why he's
Mhm.
keeping this kind. So that's why Joe did mention this. Like, there's no emotional depth. But should you have emotional depth with a killer,
But there
guys?
should
If
it be emotional depth.
okay, I understand, because at the end of the day, he didn't get okay, he got a beating, but it's his partner that got the beating. At the end of the day, it's the people around him that get the
That
worst of it
suffered.
all. So there are some points being made as well, and even
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm gonna mention one thing, and I'm not gonna explain it. Amazon. That's what I'm gonna say. And we work. That was so funny, man. Ilal.
Yep. Yep. As the opening up to the miss, up to the shot, the miss, and then him obviously escape. I mean, this is quite obvious, right? If he's going to miss, he needs to escape. That whole sequence, I think it was around 30 minutes long. The tension that was built in that whole scene, and even when they come in with the male and
Yeah.
he's monologuing, and suddenly he hears the sound and stops the monologue as he's
Yes,
going through.
that's
That was
something
like, oh my
that
god.
that was something very interesting that he did as well. How he goes from the perspective of the killer to the outside person. No, first you
Mhm.
see it from the outside, and then when you see the perspective of the killer, you hear the Smith song playing loud, blasting it loud in your
Mhm.
speakers.
Talking about the Smiths, I had my period being in love with the Smiths and Morrissey and Morrissey's voice, but I really need to mention the sound design as well. Like the
Yes.
sound design in this is, I've never been more happy to have a great sound system in my house because it really takes advantage of it. Considering it's on Netflix as well, it's on streaming, so you're not getting the full quality out of it as you would get on a Blu-ray, for example. But still, the sound design was great in this movie. Like that bassy effect that there was in certain scenes.
Yes.
Good, great stuff. Great stuff. That was Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross who worked on this.
Yes. Yes. So they're
You
frequent
can tell.
collaborators with
Yes,
Fincher.
yes, you can tell. You can tell. It's really good stuff. Anything else you want to add about this, Franco?
No, highly recommended. Again, guys, don't go. Okay, here's the thing: don't go into this expecting a John Wick.
No.
I and You have to stick. You have to stick to the first 30 minutes. They're very important. They're very important. They establish the character very well. I think they do. It does something different that it doesn't present contract killing as something fleshy. It is at the end of the day monotonous, like chasing someone. This is something I think even spy ex spies do say that this is monotonous. There's nothing fleshy about it, and but do give it a chance for sure.
Hmm. And so happy to see Fassbender in a great movie again. I feel like I
Yes.
haven't watched him in a great movie in ages. I think what was the last good thing I watched him in? Oh my god. Like all these movies were, I wouldn't say terrible, but the majority of them were. Some of them
Eh,
were quite bad as well. So it's good to see Fassbender. Fassbender gives a great performance, Astra.
yes.
He really pulls it off in this. If Fassbender doesn't give a good performance in this, this movie would suffer. I have to mention that.
True. I think he was
Because
he was made for this movie,
oh,
Fassbender.
100%. His voice, man, his voice. He's such a great voice.
Oh yes.
That's one of the main reasons why I like the monologuing, apart from the fact that it was funny. Very witty monologuing as well. And very, like you said, very self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
But his voice, man, I could listen to Fassbender speak all day. And he's so ripped, man. He's Jesus.
Yep.
He's ripped. Like
So
ripped.
something for the girlies as well.
Exactly. I mean, Fassbender is a good-looking guy, ripped or not.
Oh,
Let's be honest.
yes, yes.
Rating, Franco.
Huh.
Hmm.
I'm between a 4 and a 4.5. I don't want to be too like 4.5. I don't want to go 5 either. I'm gonna go on a 4.5.
4.5? Interesting. What did I give this on Letterboxd? I forgot what I gave this. Because certain movies, the more you think, I generally give a Letterboxd right after watching the movie. Then I think about it, and then I change my Letterboxd. It's a thing, unfortunately. It's a thing. What rating did I give this on Letterboxd? I gave it the killer rating. I gave it a 4.
I, th-
I
I
think
think I think it's because I'm a Fincher fanboy. So that's why. So I give it a 4.5.
I gave it a 4. I might give it a 4.5, but
4 is safe.
because
4 is
there's
a safe.
nothing. 4 is a safe rating, but now the more I think about it, I'm trying to think, what did I dislike about this to give it a 4? Like there has to be at least one thing I disliked about
I,
it.
I think if something that works against this movie is we've seen contract killer movies,
Yes, but
and if and
that
the
doesn't matter for me. I don't mind watching the same topic tackled again and again. honestly doesn't affect me at all going into a movie.
Yeah, I mean it's different. I see, like the way I think the way he conducts his executions, it's so like, Christ, this person is like, I was like, this person is fucking horrible.
Hmm.
Despite
Indeed, indeed.
despite the humor, it's like I got it immediately. It's like and without moralizing it, طاري جفري, that's it. But that was maybe works against it. Plus, there you people. I don't know if you ever watched this, Le Samurai.
No, I haven't. Oh man, I've
Do
been meaning to watch that so long. That's been in my watch list.
Melville
That's on
is
my
great,
letterbox the watch list for so long, so
and
long, so long. I really need to watch that.
this is
Last
this,
summer.
this is a good. I think it would be a good like double feature: The Killer and Le Samurai.
I need to watch that. I need to watch that. I really need to watch that. It's been on my watch list for so long, and I saw you mentioned it on Prickly Pears. It's like, man, I still haven't watched it. So rating. I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. I
Same,
might
same.
change that to 4.5. Follow me on Letterboxd to find out.
Exactly.
But Franco, I think we can conclude with that. It was a
Yes.
good, solid 2 hour, 20-minute episode. Thank you, as always, to all our viewers and listeners for joining us. See, the viewers went up again now as we were finishing.
Yeah, because guys, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, tell us what we have to watch, tell us what if you watched and if you agree
Definitely.
with what we said. And yeah, check out Ryan Kauki's Great Stains on TikTok. There's no issue there. Like 1 minute, boom, done. Well, hopefully I look forward to speaking to the guy. We should actually mention that we gave him a shout out already on the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, check out The Killers. Tell us where you think MCU is heading.
Straight into the dumpster fire.
Unless Benson
And
and Moorhead save it from the dumpster fire.
yep. And we can end it here, Franco. Thank you as
True.
always for joining me. Excited as always. This week I'm going to go watch Hunger Games. So
When
that
are,
will be the
when are,
thumbnail for next week.
the thing is Friday I cannot watch it with you, but if you're going on a weekend, I'd be happy.
I'll let you know. Ta, Franco. I'll let you
So,
know.
because I have to say happy birthday to my dad because he's gonna turn 76 now. Sep. Yeah,
Happy birthday, Daddy Franco. Anna.
happy birthday, Daddy Franco from here. And yeah, we're gonna finally pizza. Oh, I've been craving pizza
Nice.
for ages.
Nice. Enjoy.
On Friday, that's why.
We're not sponsored by them, by the way, but there's Lenya,
Oh,
I
that's
think.
no. We're
Masa
going
Scala is very.
also not a sponsor, but we're going to Sallyport.
Nice. They have very good pizza there.
Anyway, and with
Project.
the pizza plugs.
This episode was sponsored by Sallyport and Alenia.
No. This episode was
We're
sponsored.
sponsored by Embassy.
Embassy, go, and they do good events. They do good. I've been
They
there
do, they
because
do, they do.
because I've worked. I sometimes you see me around working for my company, not my company, but the company I work for. They do good events, good food, nice atmosphere. This time with Napoleon, they're going to do it at the courthouse, which is at the Embassy Hotel. It's a very nice place, and yeah, hope to see you there. You'll see me there running around with my camera to interview, and you might also bump into Andrea watching something like the Marvels or Hunger Games.
Oh no. And we can end it here. Ciao, guys. See you guys next time on the Adler Podcast. Ciao.